All right, and we are live. The last word with LordCognito and Ebontis, hot by the campfire. What is going on, sir?
Man, it has been an insane week since we had Tassie on last week. If you did not catch that episode, go back, listen to last week's episode. Paul Tassie from Forbes, awesome to have him on here. Great guest. At some point, we'll see if we can get him back on here. But man, he plays about as much as we do. He's in it, so he knows the stuff. It was an awesome chat, though. Had a great time.
That was a fantastic episode, man. Tassie was on fire. It was great, man. It was an honor to have him, saying, by the campfire. And definitely, like you said, we got to get him back, man. That was so much fun. So much fun. Got the chat in here. Everybody's lively. It's a lot to talk about, man. Destiny, what's going on?
What isn't going on?
This has been like information overload.
Started on Monday.
But in a good way.
Oh, man, so crazy. So
crazy.
Since we have spoken last, let me see if I can cover everything that have been said. We got Director's Cut Part 3.
Because it was live. You're right. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, so that was literally like 12:01 my time on Friday. Then Gamescom happened. We got the Gamescom trailer. We got the Gamescom interview. We got the seasonal trailer. We've got the Games Radar article. Oh my God.
And we had the Inside Xbox. They were on Inside Xbox.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, that was the stream.
Yeah. They were all over, man.
Oh yeah, they were busy. So let's see if we can do this in chronological order as we do in most weeks. If you guys are catching this on YouTube, on Twitch, on audio, we are on each of those platforms just at different times. We typically record Friday morning on Twitch, about 9 a.m. Central Standard recording time. But follow myself, LordCognito, the Last Word Podcast, all of us on Twitter in case times change. We're also going to be on video on both of our YouTube channels, on Iron Lord's Podcast and Ebontis YouTube channel. But if you don't like the video or you prefer to take us on the go, we are on your audio platform of choice, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, and most of the others. So we're bopping. But we are, we're lots of places. So if you're looking for us, you can find us. But we got a lot of topics to discover, but the first one is going to be Director's Cut Part 3. Now, this is one where I want you in it, because this was your baby you were waiting on.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I have to literally bring it back up. There were a lot of emotions. I mean, I'll let you read, and then you want me to just hit it?
I was gonna say I'll just kind of hit the top points, and I'll
hit the topics, and then I'll go.
In.
I got a lot to say. You know about this.
Oh yeah. So let's see. First, I mean, he just kept wanting to clarify about the general mods and the artifacts, and we'll go into all that in a little while. The big thing they wanted to clarify is we've got damage numbers. They are going to be changing up the damage numbers. At some point, they don't want to show 999,999 on screen. So they're just going to shrink the numbers. You're still going to see the health bar move the same. They're just changing the numbers. And all that is just like a number squish. They're just bringing them down so we're a bit more in line.
Visual cue.
Yeah, so if you do your damage testing, it may look like 20 instead of 40. You're still going to move the health bar the same number. PvP is probably still going to be the same, but that's more of a PvE thing. The big one that we kind of get to talking about is buffs, debuffs, and stacking rules. So when it comes to PvE especially, not really a PvP thing, damage stacking is huge. So right now we've got people using tractor cannons from afar, standing in Well of Radiance, standing with a Rally Barricade or Lunafaction boots, and getting extra damage by getting like a Warlock melee to share it with your buddies, and so many ways to stack buffs and debuffs on people that they are melting like the final raid boss in one phase. Things like Mountaintop are crazy. So they're trying, this is the nice way of Bungie saying, so we made it really casual. And then they're swinging the pendulum. They're like, all right, you guys are gods now. Okay, we got to reel you back in a little bit and see if we can kind of settle this pendulum somewhere in the middle. Right. And they basically just say one ability buff is going to be active on a character at a time. So that is going to be potentially one buff, whether it's Ward of Dawn, Weapons of Light, Well of Radiance, anything for you specifically to output damage, you get one of them. Then on an enemy, you also get one, whether it's Tether, whether it's Melting Point, whether it's one of the new ones from the Artifact, which is kind of an interesting build. You get one on an enemy and one on you. And then on top of those two, weapons still function the same. Rampage still works the same. Kill Clip still works the same. So, I mean, you've got a lot of options, but you can't have like 6. You're going to be limited to just 1 on each. So they're trying to make, and this goes back to just the previous topic we had. I mean, they built Reckoning because we were just a little too beyond godly. So they're like, okay, let me try and smash you from all sides since you can stand in your infinite well of life-giving damage greatness.
Life-giving.
Yeah. So, what do you see coming out of this? I mean, we've got, like the Lumina buff or Empowering Rift, and then you've also got like, Tractor Cannon or...
Tractor Cannon. And then we do know Weapons of Light is coming, right?
Yep.
So
yeah,
we've got all that stuff.
Yeah.
One. I mean, to me, when I read this, the first thing that came to my mind was fair. I mean, at the end of the day, as Destiny has evolved with in-game content and raids specifically, we have seen more and more, once we've gotten to that light threshold, right? We are literally melting bosses. Like we're seeing more solo stuff more than ever. And again, I'm not trying to discount the skill level of a lot of these guys because it still takes a lot of skill to do this stuff, but you're seeing more 2-man stuff. I mean, think about D1. D1, you can count on your hand how many times that kind of thing would happen, and it would really be remarkable. You'd be like, "Oh my god, this guy soloed," you know what I'm saying? Such and such. And with D2, it's been more and more.
It's been crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it's been more and more. So I think it's fair. I think look, if I'm doing a Tractor Cannon, and guys are doing Melting Point at the same time, I think it's fair that whatever is the most recent debuff or is going to be the one that's applied. So
I think it's probably the most powerful.
The most powerful, yeah.
Yeah, like if Well of Radiance is 25% damage bonus, I don't even know the number, and then Weapons of Light is 35%, you'll keep full 35%.
Right. The only question I have with this is they just need to be very clear on the UI what is being applicable, because we are so used to getting all our rocks off and just and then everything is multiplying and all the counters are going. So they need to give a visual cue that if I do Tractor Cannon and this guy, I got well or whatever is the powerful buff is in that corner, it's illuminated and people are clear that is what's taking the most damage. Other than that, this is fair. I mean, you said it best, E. Standing in well, Lunafaction, Rally Barricade. We're literally, Whisper when Whisper was Whisper. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're literally just chilling on the other side of the map, unloading on bosses. It's like, we got to get a little bit of the challenge back. So I don't think it's artificial. I think it's fair, and I think Luke explained it well. So that's what I got on it.
So I mean, I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah,
we've got. Just trying to bring things back into check, so if they make an encounter with mechanics, we can actually enjoy it, I guess. And they want it to play as intended, not sit and well, dump damage into a boss. They want you to be like moving around or have to use the orbs or do this thing. It's not just like they want you to go through some of it. They build these encounters with a purpose, and while not every encounter is perfectly built, they are built with mechanics in mind. The idea of going through this a couple times, trying to put, your ammo reserves to question, things like just really kind of stretching you thin a little bit. And we've got a bit out of hand. So
yeah, absolutely.
Next, we get to supers everywhere. Now, this is a big one for quite a few things. This is probably more of a PvP thing, but also PvE.
It's PvE too, yeah.
Yeah, players just need to be slightly more specific with their timing is what they're going for. But PvP, you've got somebody running around with Spectral Blades, Dawn Blade, with Striker Titan. All 3, one for every class, are able to run around. I've been killed by the same super twice by every class.
Yeah.
And that's just those roaming supers are bonkers. So they need to reel those in. I mean, part of that sometimes is I feel like, I just got killed. Why the hell did I just spawn? I don't want to spawn in the same spot again. Yep. So that's always a bit rough.
Definitely.
So that's been just like, I don't know, frustration for me sometimes in PvP when it's just, I feel a super, I'm like, and then here he comes, I'm like, you're not done?
Yeah.
What about you? I mean, you've been playing some Crucible too.
Yeah. I mean,
what do you got?
That's common. I mean, it is so common. The Roman supers, you come at, get lit up in the spawn, a bad spawn, and there goes that same super again. You know what I'm saying? So I've definitely experienced it. I think the super mods obviously contribute. I think, a lot of the masterwork weapons, you know what I'm saying? As far as I got to flip it now on the PvE side. It's you got flows, man. I mean, I can, Huckleberry or, Breakneck, and you running through trash mobs, getting orbs here and there. I'm running, Chaos Reach, and as soon as I get 75%, I'm topping off, boom, super again. And again, don't get me wrong. It is fun. I'm not going to act like it's not fun. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, for a little bit of balance, again, these are nerfs that I understand, but definitely back to PvP. Roman supers last a little too long, and they're just too strong. Like, that's my thing. Like, again, Luke said it best. Your reaction should never be, oh my God, run from every single super.
Every single super. Just like get me out of here. Yeah.
Exactly. I can remember one time in D1, and that was when Sunbreaker Titan debuted. Yep. And you heard that clang.
Ding. And you're like, oh God, get out of here.
Out. That was like the fire alarm. Get out of town. He's coming. You know what I'm saying? So, like, now every super is that. Like, every super is get out of town. It's crazy. So, yeah, man, at the end of the day, they got to do something about it. We have to make it a little bit where, skill is involved with handling them when it comes to health and stuff like that, so that you have a shot, and that you have to use supers with skill. Yeah. That you just can't just, okay, I got my super, everybody stand back, I'm here now, kind of thing. Like, I love his mindset with the way he described how he wants to handle it. What did you feel about it?
I mean, all in all, it seems good. They also state, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing you state is when you hear supers, and especially if you look down like Nova Bomb, you're like, oh, somebody got smoked. And it's just like, it's a one time. And that was the way a Striker Titan used to be, is like the one bam and you were out. And so you had to be strategic and tactical with it. But you also had to make sure you could get close enough to use it. So there was a strategy of like getting to them. Now you can just run up to them, still be in your super I'm not going to die mode, and then get your jump off and then go running off to chase somebody else. So they need to bring, like, roaming supers like that need to be pretty weak. You need to use them strategically. You can't just like whoosh, 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 and like knife swipe across the map just to get to somebody.
Oh, bro, getting away from the spectrals, bro.
Good luck.
Good luck with that, man. I try jumping, hopping, blinking. It don't matter. They gonna get you.
Like said Fred, he's like, Peregrine Greaves, run towards the supers. Come on. I'm going to put my knee right into your face.
One said supers with skill, but there goes all my kills. Yep. Bro, I just got to be strategic, or just a little strategic. That's all. Just, I mean,
they're out there. I will say on a counter to this, and something I wish they would just leave in there, I wish Mayhem was always there.
You love Mayhem. You love me.
If you ever just want to burn off steam, it is so much fun. It is. I wish it was just one of those that could always be an option, because if you're just like, hey, I want to go, do quick play and do control, it's fine. I just want to blow stuff up and see crazy fireworks. Like, it's literally like you get off work, you have a crappy day. I just want to go nuts right now. I don't want to think that hard. Like, that's I think a mode that it is so much fun. If they want to reel back in everybody kind of having a lot of super fun, it'd be a nice way to balance that, having the mode sitting out there.
Yeah.
So.
Mayhem, I realized how much I missed Mayhem in the infancy stages of D2, but when we had the double primary, we had the no rep and rolls.
Oh my God.
And
when we got Mayhem?
The super, we had the super slow meta when you had to put exotics on to get recharge rates faster. Remember that? And that week that they kind of debuted it, and I was just like, yo, this is what I'm talking about. Like, let's get crazy, let's get loose. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I did miss it. Yeah, it's a good mode. Me personally, I miss Supremacy. I miss Supremacy a lot, because I always felt like it discouraged camping in spots, because in order for the credit, you have to go get it. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. And then it was like, it also rewarded multi-kills, because you get a group and then you just clean up and get those crests. Plus, I've been Shaq talk about them crests, man. It gets me excited. Like if Shaq's talking that talk. But yeah, those are the both. But yeah, Mayhem, I feel you on that, definitely.
Yeah. And then Fred said it too, and I think this is one of the things that's going to be tuned, is the chaining of the supers. The orbs, actually giving orbs to your part. Like, if you start chaining supers,
tidal wave.
Yeah, and then and then you get just rolled, steamrolled the entire time when they start chaining together. And there's a strategy to that, but there's not a great way to come back from that either.
Exactly.
Because if the teammates are running together and they're picking a couple orbs each, and then all of a sudden it starts chaining, one person in your team may get a super, but somebody on the other team's got like 2 more to counter it. So that's the rough part.
There's nothing more demoralizing than playing comp. You're going against a team that's chaining, and then you look up at the top of the information bar and you see those supers lit up on the opposing team, and you're like, we still got to deal with 3 more super or whatever it is.
Yeah,
it's very demoralizing.
Yeah. So yeah, that will hopefully be a good change, and I'm okay with it as well. So I think it'll be good. Next, we've got heavy ammo, the other side of this PvP coin, and they're going old school on it. So we've got
baby.
Yeah, I want you to break this one in because these are some of your stuff. So
this surprised me, man.
Let us know what is happening.
Yeah, he basically said, that it's become an in-match rally point. Once open players nearby would get all the heavy, he said, heavy ammo is a jockey for position, speed before
boxing out, man. Get out of here.
This guy here knows well about this.
I'm going to shoulder charge you out of the way, man. Get out of here.
Heavy's up.
Heavy's up.
That's that mountaintop flow. Heavy's up. 1 minute, 20 seconds to heavy. So, man, he said Destiny 1 heavy ammo felt metered. And in Destiny 2, you can defeat a team, but not an Arc Titan, multiple times with a brick for a hammerhead. So where's this heading? So basically he talks about making heavy ammo be communal in 6v6 playlists. It also reduced the amount of ammo per brick in PvP for certain 6v6 archetypes. It's not exactly the same as D1. When a player cracks open the heavy crate, other players have a window of time to interact with it to get their heavy ammo. So that's the initial change. And at first I was like, I don't know, right?
Okay, let me ask you this before you think too far. One place or one per team? Like old D1. Because D1 was like, split up, everybody get their stuff, okay, back to normal, and then go back to normal.
Back to normal.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. I don't know, man. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer until we play it, but I definitely feel, here's my problem. Playing with you mountaintop guys.
I'm done.
It's just, dude, I've gotten to the point. I've gotten to the point where it's like, I've given up on getting heavy in Crucible. Yeah. I've given up because I'm either like in the flow of a match. If I'm not close during the natural flow, then I'm just like, all right, such and such guy. You look at the bottom, who such and such grabs such and such, and you see the icon. All right, that's it for me. You know what I'm saying? I've gone matches where I've gone multiple matches where I've not gotten heavy.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it doesn't happen. I'm the same way.
But I'm talking about I can go 4 or 5 matches without getting heavy because it's just, I mean, again, you have to be cognizant that it's coming. And then even if you are, there's nothing more demoralizing than going there and you seeing that guy with the tent out. I've seen dudes put emotes of them sitting there. Like, you know the emote when you do the captain and you sit like, I've seen dudes do that. But I'm like, you're ridiculous. I said, you know what? Go ahead, man. You want it that bad. You get it's the same thing.
I never did that.
I know you were very, very respectful.
No, I wasn't.
But, I mean, at least you told.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm coming in, taking this. I got stuff to do. I got grenade kills.
Yeah, man. So at least now it's like, okay, the people who can actually get a shot and be more communal and get it. I kind of like that. I just got to see how it plays out. You know, if they're gonna do, it sounds like they're gonna do just the one area as opposed to the D1, right?
I wonder on how that's. So that's my one worry is if you do one.
Mm-hmm.
The whole damn team is going to get it. And then the whole team has heavy and the other team does not. And then you're all screwed. So, like, if they bring it back in a communal fashion with... Because that was the thing about having one middle central brick to fight over. One person would get it. Yeah, that one person was a little terrifying for a little while. But it wasn't the whole damn team. If you could be like, all right, we're popping heavy. All right, go grab your bricks. And, like, 4 people on one side get heavy. And nobody on the other team... That's not even... That's just, like, walking into... Omaha Beach, you're just like screwed.
Yeah, so, I mean, I am worried about that.
So
I am worried about that.
If they bring it, I think they have to do it for both. So I don't know.
But wait a minute, let me ask you this: if I recall, Trials had 1, Or Trials had 2. Trying to remember. It's been so long. Trials been away so long. I can't remember.
I'm not
Chat,
the
if
person
y'all
to ask.
remember.
I'm not the person to ask on that
Yeah,
one. I can
chat,
tell you
all
that.
the Trials people in the chat. When Trials of Osiris D1, when the heavy round came, was it 2? It may have been 2. There may have been 2 areas where each team got to compete, and then they
in
met
Osiris?
back. Yeah,
because it was round 3, right? Yeah, and
Yeah.
both teams would like agree not to pick it up because both teams would emote.
Yeah, it was 2. It was 2. Okay.
Trials had 1 per match, but both sides got it.
But both sides got it. That's my question. Like, did both?
It has to be a level playing field. It has to. Yeah.
Now let's reread it though. Did Luke say that it will be? He said it will be communal in 6v6, but he didn't specify that whether both teams will have it.
So that's going to be my question, because if one team does that, I mean, you could just have 2 people go mop the other team up with heavy. 2 people who have heavy hold down the heavy.
Right.
And depending on how frequent it comes back.
I'm going to say it's going to be both teams, because the only thing this key sentence he says is it's not exactly the same as D1 though, and what he differentiates it is when a player cracks open the heavy crate, other players still have a window of time. Yep. So let's say you're late and I'm getting there. You still got a little countdown to get and still be able to grab it. Yeah. I'm going to assume. I would be shocked that it's not both teams getting it at the same time.
And that also made for some of the best moments is when the other team was going for it, and you're like, all right, skirt, I'm not going for the heavy. I got my Nova Bomb up. I'm going to go get a 5-stack when everybody's waiting on it.
I forgot about them days.
Those were fun moments because, like, you could go through in Twilight Gap, go underneath in the tunnel, and come back out and just smash them all because they're right in that little building. So
that's when Super Play was huge for that run. I remember. Wow, you taking it back. That's a good one.
I mean, and that'd be a point where you're waiting for heavy. You got 5 seconds, and then you hear that hammer, and you're like, "Well, crap."
Yep.
So it's going to be a little more strategic. So I hope it's that way, and I think it would be more successful if they do.
It's got to be. There's no way it's just one team. I'll be shocked.
We'll see. Next, PvP. And this is one that they've had, and they state, it's like there's been a lot of conversations internally and externally at different points during the year. Around the support, Bungie provides PvP. On one hand, we've continued to tune the game each quarter, added pinnacle weapons, which somehow ended up being pinnacle PvE weapons. Tried out a ranking system in Crucible, which they say ranking, it's not really, but it's kind of there.
Yeah.
It's not like ladders and true ranks and, tiers and anything. Returned the game to 6v6. On the other hand, we haven't released a new permanent game mode. Many game modes from Destiny 1 are nowhere to be seen. There isn't a public-facing PvP team, and the last thing they said, Trials was on hiatus. And on top of that, we haven't seen any maps. So we've had...
Yes.
They've been tweaking it, but they've been trying to recapture the Destiny 1 magic is mostly what I would say we're at. And I think one of the biggest things for you... There's a very specifically italicized word.
Yes, I got that paragraph when you're ready.
Oh, okay, cool. Just let me know.
Yeah. All right.
But they've experimented, and they're going to go through some playlists and changes and things like that. But all in all, PvP has been just one of those things. They are not entirely sure what they want to do with it, I think. And this is kind of going to come back to, I think, Destiny 2 came out. Then we had Curse of Osiris kind of tank. Warmind was okay, Forsaken was good, but you lost a lot of people with the release of D2, and then they're like, hey, what's this annual Osiris? I'm out. And people just stopped. I mean, the player graph has to be just a cliff.
I was at its lowest point. And
when we started this podcast, we were so smart. We were so good. Right time, right place, right time.
Listen, man. It feels so sweet, though, man. It feels so sweet because we started Flashpoint, aka the last word, right at that time, right post Osiris. I'm gonna say, right. I'm gonna say post Osiris.
I mean, it was like January. It was January or February. It was right in there.
So we were
middle of Osiris.
The lowest level. We were at. People were like, "What in the hell are you doing at Destiny?" But that game is dead. What is wrong with you? And we like, yo, we
still dead, huh? Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we still. So that's why I feel sweet to be still doing it. You know what I'm saying? And to see where it's come. But that everything you said, those were points of contention. Those were issues. He still seems like he's they're still trying to figure out. I mean, obviously they have a plan for Shadowkeep. I cannot wait to see that implementation. But let me know when you're ready for that next paragraph.
Very good. I know. I'm getting there. Getting there. It's a very important word.
Chomping.
So the biggest things that they're doing is they are obviously we've had 6s come back. Comp is still 4s. But the biggest thing is they're changing up the playlist, and this is one of the things I thought they were going to be doing. And I also think the PvP team has probably had a hard time with some of this because you have people wanting certain playlists or game modes to come back, and they have the weekly rotators, but they cannot do quite a Destiny 1 situation. I don't think they've been able to because I think they worry a lot about their player base being split up way too much.
Right. And the queues, let's be honest, like the queue, you have so many different modes in their defense. You are definitely killing that base. I agree.
Yeah. So if you fragment your player base, people are going to be mad about long wait times. And then some game modes still may not have that many things in it and stuff like that. So they've been trying to wait. And something about New Light, as it's going to be a free game, is really going to help get that influx, hopefully, as they state, a lot of new players coming in, which is going to give all the playlists a decent size population boost, which is really going to help them allow to, hey, if you want to pick this mode, you can a little more. And I think this is all, it's coming together at a good time. And hopefully with many new players. Yeah, it's like, but I think they also said there's going to be a blueberry like matchmaking curve. You and I are not going to pair up.
Let them play with us. Blueberries.
No, but I think they state they won't.
I'll show you the way.
You'll put an ace of spades in the middle of their eyes.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we've got some playlist changes, a couple that I'm insanely pumped about. So let's go through these. Biggest thing, they're going back to a common number of 3. There's a couple 4 playlists that will be in there.
Hold on. Where we at? Because I feel we skipped my paragraph. Hold on. Wait. We with the trials that are the trials. We get there. We skip. Right under the
We'll get there.
On part 5.
I was letting you end on that. That's the big crescendo. We've got to build.
Okay.
We've got to have a climax to this, okay?
Yeah, I got to calm down. I got to relax.
Breathe. I'm not going to forget it.
Don't forget. That's the way I'm dying on that. But let's talk about the modes. Let's get there.
Back on track. Focus, Daniel-san. So they are bringing it back to a common number of 3s in most places they can. We're going to have 6s in a lot of places. Competitive is going to get some tweaks. But the playlists are going to look as follows. Quick play and competitive are gone off the director. Quick play is going to be called Classic Mix. Basically, it's going to be basically like it is today, Control Clash, but Supremacy's in there too. So you asked for it. You got it coming. So it is nice to have that in the mix, because sometimes you're like, hey, I got Control, I got Clash. Oh, Supremacy. It does change the way you move. It does change the way you have to play. Because, I mean, you take one of the Emissary maps out there, and that tends to be a very ranged map. With scout rifles and snipers and people picking each other off. If you get Supremacy there, for one, that's probably going to be a slow map. But 2, yeah, it's like it'll play differently for sure. Competitive is replaced by 3v3 survival. Thank God they got rid of. They're getting rid of lockdown. They're getting rid of. It's literally just the only good mode that people. It's like, okay, survival's fine. It's like, best of lives or whatever. It's the best version of that you can get in there.
Yeah.
And then mine. This is my little favorite. Survival solo queue playlist that adds glory. We got a lone wolf glory playlist. Like, what? I don't think they've ever done that.
Now let's break this down. Wait. Survival solo queue playlist.
Yep.
So all right. You're just running solo. There's no team play?
Yeah, everybody's no, it's not it's not like Rumble.
Not Rumble, but it's basically
solo queue. Nobody's on teams.
Solo queue.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean it balances it out. And then it's like it may use voice chat, it may not, but you don't have a 3-stack running against solos. It has to be a thing.
Huge.
Like
that's huge.
So that was
I wonder how it's policed though. Not to cut you. I wonder
what do you mean?
In the sense that let's say we're in a party.
Yeah.
Like
We can't.
So I guess is it policed by the minute you're in a fire team? It's gonna say no, you're in a fire team. You cannot queue up this list.
Yeah,
I'm curious
absolutely.
how it's policed.
Yeah, no, I mean that's gonna be like you're gonna have to go in by yourself. There's been like certain missions and stuff you have to queue up. You cannot queue up in a fire team, and it's gonna be can't queue up in a fire team. So same thing.
You're right. That's gonna be fire. That's me. I'm gonna be in there, man. I'm gonna be in there
That'll
too,
be
bro.
fun. So they've added a 6v6 control to its own playlist. Control's like home base for Destiny PvP. Control, getting the points, that's going to be there. With the new influx of players this fall, we want to have a playlist that signals to new players this is where to start. I feel like 6v6 control is a good place. And they've also added 6v6 rotator and a 4v4 rotator. So you've got like Clash, Supremacy, Mayhem. Those will probably be on the 6v6. And then Lockdown and Countdown on the 4s. But those are not going to be for glory anymore. They're just the play style. And I don't know a lot of people that love those two. So the fact that we're kind of getting those two separate is cool. And if you go between Clash, Supremacy, and Mayhem for 6v6, I'm cool. That's a decent rotation.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
So all in all, those are good things. And I don't think this is something they could have really done unless they could count on a big influx of players. And as it still says Destiny 2, the free new light's really the only way they were going to do that. I mean, Shadowkeep looks amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for people who haven't been playing Destiny 2 in a while,
I've seen so many people on my social media who are not Destiny fans re-downloading the game or saying, hey, as soon as October 1st comes, I'm in. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? New light. Yeah, and it's definitely going to be a thing. But yeah, these modes, these is crazy, man. These is crazy. Then removing underperforming modes, maps, and underperforming maps. That's huge. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm curious to see which ones get the axe. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Then we've got this is the build into yours. I'm getting there.
Yeah, because you skipped mine. I was gonna let you narrate.
No. This has been. There's a plan. There's a method to this madness. So they said they're also working on 4 variants of 3v3 elimination. Now this is going to be in Crucible labs, so you're not going to get a lot from it per se. But elimination is going to make its return in Crucible labs. However, elimination is very much unfinished. It's missing voiceover. There are no unique medals associated with it. And there's 4 different variants, and they're trying to figure out what tweaks on it is going to work the best. And I'm honestly very curious how it goes. So as 3v3 elimination is in the works, there's a very specific line, and I'm going to pass the torch back to you because you're going to jump out of your chair and through your monitor to kill me if I don't. What does Luke say specifically?
I'll let you read that line.
I don't even know what to do with that. Okay. There were some really... So he's talking about a previous mod everybody loved. There were some really cool parts to the Emissary. And we actually got some lore behind her with the Drifter, which was cool. I mean, that was a very interesting... Like, there's some big, crazy galaxy scale level stuff going on. Some of the gear was pretty potent. Sup Darkest before. But the theme felt weaker. And the Trials card was less important. And the stakes felt lower. Trials of the 9 didn't work the way we'd hoped. And Trials of the 9... in italics is on a hiatus indefinitely. Yeah. So that is a very important thing because Trials of the 9, the word 9 is in italics. So that mode is gone. But if there is something working. So now it's all yours.
He's coming.
I doubt they call it Osiris again.
He is coming.
I don't think they're going to call it Osiris again.
He's coming.
I don't think they're calling it Osiris again.
Trials of Osiris. Listen, he went out of his way to destroy that one sock psycho chick from the Emissary. She's out of here now. That's it. You've had your run. We tried your mode 4v4. We didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? The maps, we didn't like it. So it's just like, here's the thing. This was funny to me. This is fun. Like when I saw this, I was like, all right, let's see where he's going with it. And he's literally saying everything I said. It just didn't work. It didn't work from a match. Damn, the cops are still here. What's going on with the cops there? But anyway, oh yeah, they're live, but they really don't like Trials of the 9, see? But anyway, Trials of Osiris is coming back. The thing is, the Crucible Labs is going to be the setup because 3v3 elimination is Trials. So what they're going to do is they're going to tweak either tokens, res time, let us play with that, and then give us the feedback. So I personally think this was cool. You know what I'm saying? I think what they realize is that for in order to bring Trials of Osiris back the way it needs to be, it's two-part. It's a lore part and it's the mode part. The mode part, they've already said to us, hey, we don't like, we don't think that the old Trials would translate well, you know what I'm saying, in, 2019, right? Crucible Labs is what they're doing with us with that. That's literally what that is. That's like, go mess with it, see what you like. Now, what I did is I posed this question to Fire Team Chat. They had actually shout out to Destin Gary. He got a tweet up. I guess they were going to meet with Bungie, and they said, hey, if you guys have any questions, let me know. And one of the questions I said was that I'll get you a award. I got you. Well, I see you. One of the things he said is that, some questions. I said, one of the things I asked him was pretty much like, look, if Crucible Labs and the fan base says, this is what we want, and it's literally a mimic of Trials, are you guys, as Bungie now, going to come back and say, you know what? This is the mode they want? Because that was the rhetoric they tried to spill on us in the beginning, E. They were trying to tell us that mode's not viable anymore in 2019, and if it stayed in the same iteration. I call BS on that. Because at the end of the day, if Crucible Labs and we get our hands on it and everyone's joined 3v3 res tokens and maps designed for it, right? And as far as the theme, Luke is literally trashing Trials of the Nine from a thematic standpoint, how it just didn't feel cool. He mentions that he doesn't even like the card, that he didn't have the card system. All these things are Osiris things. There's no doubt he's coming back. It's just they have to do it correctly. And let's be honest, Curse had such a stain on it that he needs a grand return. So it's no doubt. We can just move on.
Nice. That's fine.
I get it. What you think? Oh, let me get a award, then I'll get. He said, if it's Osiris, you realize that we have to deal with the fanboy bro. You're right.
Yeah, bro. I don't he's heavy Kool-Aid drinking now. He's gotta turn it off.
They trashed his narrative. I don't know who was doing narrative at that time. It was bad. Even the book, man. Did you remember the book? And this book, y'all know y'all got this one. I got to remember that initial Osiris story, and he left, the tower, and then Sagira's like, laters. And I'm like, fam, you cannot be saying laters. Like it just doesn't work. You're not the cool ghost. So again, I think they realize thematically there has to be a lot of change. And also, let's be honest, where has he been? You got to explain. We got Vex going on.
He's
got
in
the
Infinite Forest doing his thing, trying to keep the Vex in check.
The Vex is running loose right now in Shadowkeep.
Well, he's not coming back for this one.
Well, he's not coming back, but I'm just saying, we've literally been in this area he's supposed to have been in for 3 expansions. We had the Revelry, we had the Haunted thing. We've been running around and we don't see this man.
We're just pushing random buttons on the random level generator and being like, oh, let's see what this looks like. Revelry. Put the button in there. Haunted Forest. Put the button in there.
Exactly. They got to figure out the right time. But I think it's. But let me hear the bad news from me. Let me hear Eve tear down my dreams and tell me why I'm not getting Osiris back. Let me hear it.
I just don't think they've learned. They've tried to learn and evolve from what's been done before. And while Trials of the Nine didn't work, I think if they bring it back, unless they specifically have an Osiris story to tell, which I'm not entirely sure, I think they would have a way to. Everything could function the exact same way. But I just don't know if they're going to call it, if they're going to theme it to Osiris, because he has that stigma. But also it's something where they've never really truly copied something from D1 and put it in D2. They've had a twist, they've had a change, and they want to make it distinct. So I think if they do bring it back, I just think for them, as they've tried to continue to evolve the world, it could function the exact same way with the vendor, cards, rewards, everything like that. But I don't see that coming back. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I can't believe you're doing this to me, man. I can't believe you're doing this to me. You're supposed to be on my side. Now, let me ask you this. You know I'm not letting this. Why is it okay that Saladin can keep coming back every year with his same old stuff. And yeah, they make tweaks to it, but Saladin, who runs the tournament, can come back fine. But my man, Trials of Osiris with the hot Egyptian gear and coolest lord, most powerful warlock, he can't come back in his existing form. There's no way. What's good old Saladin? Yeah. But no problem. You come through. We make a section for you at the top of the tower. You come up the steps. We got the velvet rope for you. But my man can't get no love. Please explain this to me.
I don't have an answer. I'm just saying Bungie continues to evolve. So if they're going to like build something new, there may be a completely different reason for it. That's all. They could do Osiris. If they actually bring him back, it would be nice to see him get a little bit of love because, yeah, he got shafted pretty hard. So it'd be nice to see him that way.
The chat said, Seth said Trials of Cade. Somebody said Trials of Raul. Top tier edge transits for every. Yo, they on fire right now.
Oh my god. So yeah, you've got a lot of options. Osiris could be cool, but if they don't take it that way, I think the function will probably be similar when they narrow down how it's going to work.
I know we on this for long, but I was going to, and we'll move on. But my question is, if it happens to what you said, they reimagine it as some other person or some other thing. What do you think happens with the Osiris guy? You think they never bring him back because it's such a failed thing?
I mean,
what's your gut telling you?
It's possible. I mean, it was so. I mean, just the word Osiris for people in Destiny 2 is like that sucked. It was bad. Story was bad. Expansion was small. Mercury is just this like I hate going there planet. All those things.
Sorry, they're going in. And chat is that Trials of the Eververse. Michael Jones.
Microtransaction. You get a microtransaction. You get a microtransaction. Oh my god. No, but what you guys can't tell right now, by the way. So I have 2 huskies, and my wife is working from home today, and since I'm in here, I'm separate from Enzo, and he's the youngest, but he's the bigger of the 2. But if she takes the other one on a walk, and he's here, I don't know if you can hear him. He's just howling right now. Oh, he gets really loud at some points too. It's too funny. That's
funny. No, you're good.
Yeah, I got Saladin's wolves over here, and one of them is not happy.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, all I will say is Destiny prior to Osiris, Curse of Osiris, the expansion. I would say Dark Below was probably the worst one prior. Not because it was really that bad, but I remember people complain. If you remember, Dark Below got some flack. You know what I'm saying? I would say when it launched. Would you agree?
Short campaign.
Yes.
He's getting louder. But yeah, I mean, short campaign was there. Right. I don't know I'm trying to think of how many strikes we got. We got like 1 strike maybe.
Right.
People didn't know what to expect. It was the first one, and we got something as expansive as Destiny with 4 planets, and then it just was a very smaller piece. And it was the first time. I mean, first thing we'd seen, so the precedent wasn't really set. When we got a strike, we may have got a PvP map or 2.
Right. But overall, I mean, the hardcore, we loved it. Crota's raid and all that stuff. I get that. But overall, the Dark Below was not a well-received expansion. My point being is, if Eris can come back from Dark Below, Osiris can come back from Curse of Osiris. That's all I'm saying. They got a shot. That's all I'm saying. It may be longer because they want to put some distance, you know what I'm saying, because of things. But right now, they're on a good streak. I don't envision it with Season of the Undying. It may be towards the end, or maybe even D3. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, I do believe, I swear, I know I'm fanboying, but I do believe Trials of Osiris is coming back. They are very specific with the verbiage. They are specifically saying 9. I can't see any other person taking over a tournament. And it would make sense lore-wise, especially with what the Vex we know are doing, for the future to protect whatever they're protecting. We'll get into.
Yeah. So a couple other things for Crucible. I'll try and hit these quickly because we've been on this for a while.
Yes.
They're going to be changing up some matchmaking and things like that. They're going to refactor glory, glory ranks and skill match changes, factoring in your skill when you get glory gains and losses. So skill is actually going to be a thing. So if you're stomping people, but then you You know, you go in and you get worked a little bit. You might gain or lose a little bit more or less depending on how it goes. It's kind of an interesting like factor to it there. And then also they do talk about just when it comes to matchmaking, it's just the whole thing about skill matchmaking. If it's overly restrictive, it's fatiguing when every single game feels like a sweat fest. And if it's overly loose, you can get an entire evening of unlucky matchmaking where you just get dumped on the whole time by Terminators, as they say. And it's rough. Because, I mean, whether you're Kinderguardians, which are going to be all the blueberries coming in New Light, they don't want to stomp them. And I think they even state specifically they're going to get like a gradual like matchmaking curve to get more and more into the normal mix. They're trying to, and this is what they stated, and this is kind of what I expected. They're working on the foundations. They're working on playlists. They're working on some matchmaking stuff. They're testing modes. They're trying to change the way heavy works, and that's one of the things I wondered about. All of those things are fundamental PvP things, as opposed to trying to introduce a new mode or anything like that right now. So it doesn't seem like we're getting new modes. Doesn't seem like we're going to be... And we still have the reveal coming, I think, with regards to their calendar.
Yeah, we still have a PvP reveal.
So that's sometime before the end of August, I think, because then PAX is soon. So all that stuff is coming, but I don't think... Maybe they're going to reveal, but I think they're just going to maybe reveal the changes they made. So we'll see. Maybe there's going to be a new mode. Maybe they bring back Rift. That's about the only thing I could see them doing at this point is probably bringing back Rift along with all these changes.
Yeah. I can see that. Do you think we ever get Sparrow Racing League back? I'm worried.
I don't see it anytime soon. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
like I don't see them mention. I don't see them tease it really anywhere. It's just
SRL. Like I thought for sure we'd have it, but I'm actually surprised that.
Yeah, I thought it would be kind of a fun event, but maybe it's just more effort than maybe their numbers say it's worth, and it could just be a numbers thing more than anything. I think. I enjoyed it. I had fun doing it. Playing on controller, I got pretty fast, but it was not the same.
You know what strike? I miss it. The one, the Cabal strike, and what is it? Is it Terminus? No, not Terminus. No, it's not Terminus. The Cabal strike.
Valistar.
Is that the one where you can melt the Cabal captain that crushes the Vex guy, and then you melt
Tree
him
of Probabilities.
Tree of Probabilities. That strike prior to getting down, you know how you take the Sparrow, you go down before you get to that part. Yeah, that reminds me of SRL so much.
It's a little tease, but yeah, that always seemed weird. As like this is an area that we built to mess with you to drive your Sparrow for a while, but in a strike, it literally consumes time in a Nightfall. It's always a weird addition to me. So, now this is where we get into. I'm gonna save this last topic. He gets into closing time talking about thank you guys for reading. The Evolving World piece, I'm going to save that as we get into other stuff because the Evolving World ties into other things. So that's most of the TWAB, and we got big PvP changes coming. We are going to have an Evolving World, different topic we'll get to in a second. But we've just got changes coming to just the feel of the game, and it's kind of one thing I asked last week before we were getting this. It does feel like you may feel a little weaker. The numbers may feel smaller. You may not feel quite as strong, and I think they just want to make you play the game a little more as intended instead of just being able to blast through everything quite as easily. Yeah, you guys are going nuts in chat.
Yo, it's an Osiris. Like Bife would love this. Bife and Mylan would love all the Osiris slander lore stuff that's going on. I'm fighting with chat. Shout out to El Boogie. Shout out to Mish Award. Yo, they're Osiris slander, so I had to be on my brother Vance and start professing the good words.
Just gonna go ahead and have that hood. I swear next time you're gonna like LordCognito's cosplay for Guardian Con next year is gonna be Brother Vance. Brother Vance, straight up.
Brother Cog, man. Like, listen, Vance ain't doing it right. He's not giving the proper reverence.
Just walk around. Gotta have that shadow over your head, the big hood, and just walk around with your hands clasped.
Like this.
Just always walking around.
Fact, true story. At Guardian Con, I saw the most Osiris cosplays I've ever seen out of all the rest. He was the most. I saw 2 followers and an Osiris. Got it on camera. Check that out. It's on I don't know podcast.
2 followers?
Yeah, they got some. They had the Disciple of Osiris suits on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then someone was literally. But I was with you when we saw The Osiris. No, you were talking to, you know what? You missed that. We saw the fake Guardian together. Remember the fake Guardian that got kicked off the tower? That cosplay? But then there was an Osiris cosplay, but you were talking to Lono at that time. Yeah. He was right next to it over there. You missed it. But I got that on the ILO podcast channel. So check it out in the Last Word playlist. If Guardian Con impressions, and you see the little walkthrough, he's in there too. So see all the good stuff. Continue.
So yeah, but that pretty much wraps up the director's cut, except for one thing that ties into more stuff that we've learned about. And then this week on Monday, oh my God. I had a meeting on Monday to go to at like 1:30, and then just Gamescom starts going bam, 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 bam. I was like, are you serious right now? I had 41 tweets on Monday.
Wow. 41?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm sorry if I exploded anyone's Twitter, if I lost some followers on account of that. I also had probably the most like traffic on my Twitter that I've ever had too. Basically, it was like we had, and I was watching the reveal stream. So we had the Xbox stage, the Inside Xbox. Bungie was on there. They did their teaser about finishing moves, which actually looked pretty cool. And we had literal frames about like the artifacts and the moon and like the map and all that stuff. So I went back on that footage, full screened it, recorded it in OBS, and then I went by frame to try and find, okay, here's what the maps looks like. All right, here's the name of the strike. Here's the difficulties. Here's the artifact. And I went through and I was tweeting all of that stuff. So I did that. And then we got a cinematic thing for the Gamescom, just like cinematic basically, which is cool. So we get to see a little bit about that. We had the press kit go out, which happened while I was at my meeting, which has some crispy pictures and a couple exotics.
Shout out to you. Shout out to Nems for putting me on too.
Yeah. And then to wrap it all up, Jeff Keighley, when he did the Gamescom Live, that man always puts on a good show. Always good times.
Salute.
We got the season trailer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pass it to you first, and I want to see give me like two of the biggest things. I gotta mute real quick. Two of the biggest things from just that entire Insane Monday. What are your two big takeaways first, and then we'll kind of dive in. I'm just kind of curious what you think, because I was digesting so much of it. I was like, I want to know what you were thinking.
It was listen, it was just information overload, and but in a good way, because it's like one thing, y'all, like when Destiny's on. Man, it is on. And this is those times, like, I always consider it pre-September big expansion when we're talking, Shadowkeep. We're talking Taken King. We're talking before Rise. We're talking before Forsaken. All those moments, in my opinion, are some of the most fun because you're anticipating, you're getting the information, and then they have that release cadence where they just boom, 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 every week, every day. This is coming out. That's coming out. This is what we're adding. That's what we're adding. And it's really cool, man. So for me, first thing, I think they touched the finishing moves on the Inside Xbox stage. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to El Boogie. Yes, that fact that it was proof that Phil loves Bungie. Because I think I'm glad you said that out, because I wanted to state that from the Xbox community standpoint, they've always been the redheaded stepchild since Destiny's inception. We know about the PlayStation deal with Activision and how the exclusive stayed over there. And by the way, I got a fantastic article. Please check it out about this exact topic right now on lordsofgaming.net. Please check it out. Just put it up. But so pretty much for Destiny fans, it was symbolic to see Bungie on Xbox stage. Now, I thought this would happen at E3. I was off. Remember my prediction? I have predicted this for E3.
Told you.
I was off by a couple months. But it did happen. You know what I'm saying? It did happen. They came on the stage, and it meant a lot because Bungie was once, underneath the Microsoft banner. Now they're coming back as a separate entity, kind of a goodwill. And like El Boogie said, make no mistake, Phil Spencer is the biggest Destiny fan. Mike Ibarra, huge. These are high-level execs, you know what I'm saying, that play Destiny. They love that game. They're testing xCloud on that game. So to have them there was good. Now back to the Shadowkeep. The Shadowkeep stuff, for me, the takeaways, finishing moves are very cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get into that. I like the risk reward thing. That thing was cool, how they broke down. It takes, have your super and stuff like that. And I thought that was cool. And then the mods that you can coincide with that. Yep. I'm going to let you handle the whole thing. That whole artifact, that's you. what I'm saying? Because I know you broke it down frame by frame. I'm gonna let you get to that. I'm just talking about my initial takeaways was that I ain't gonna lie, I got mad hype for the season of Undying trailer because shout out to my girl Ikora, like she got me hyped, son. Like, and I've not been our biggest Ikora fan back in the day, but I've grown ever since Cade's death. I've really started to love Ikora. Like she's on my, you know what I mean? So like, I just like the way she talked about it, like, about the inception, the protection of the Black God. She got me into it. Why are they so hell-bent on protecting this thing right now? What is going on? And I love thematically how separate, which me and you predicted, right? We predicted Shadowkeep would conclude and that this Vex thing is going to be completely different, from what's going on. So, yeah, man, this is exciting. The fact that they got 2 trailers was kind of dope to me. Those my initial feelings. Now you, Mr. Information Overload, Mr. Tweak, Mr. Artifact, you teach me what's going on because there's so much going on.
Oh, there is so much going on, indeed. So we got first trailer was inside Xbox. They're talking about finishing moves, and first they basically state everybody's going to get 1 to start. So you're not going to have to go buy anything. You're still going to have the function of a finishing move no matter what you do, which is a good thing because I know they said some people worried about having to buy them or anything like that. Now, there's one straight up I'm going to have to buy.
Okay, which one?
It's the Titan heel kick. That's going to get dude, I'm a kickboxer. The roundhouse finisher has to happen. There's no way my Titan is going to be kicking heads off. I'm loving this. Oh, that was so... I saw that and I was like, crap, there's... Whatever it is, it's mine. That does not matter. I'm buying. That is my finishing move. Doesn't matter. Looked so good. So yeah finishing move animations look cool. So it pulls you out into third person perspective. But the way is the enemy kind of has this like kind of pass through. It's almost like you're like getting kind of a line pass over of lighting, and it's also got a dot above your head. What's up, Spear Gaming? First time making the podcast. What's up, Ben Spear?
Spear, what's up, baby?
Yeah. And a dot above their head to know that they can be basically finished. Now, the only limitation to your finishing is depending on basically the cost of the finishing move. Right. What is it going to take to actually cast it? And it costs super energy typically. Right. So there are different mods that will kind of balance some of that. Some will cost more. Some will help balance it out and cost it less. But what you can see is you've got a finishing move. So you can basically smash an ogre in the face. You cannot do it to big bosses.
Right, they were clear about that. Yep.
But you should be able to do it to majors and minors if they're low enough. Either one should work. Just not. You're not going to smash Crota. Sorry. He's just going to look at you and be like, "That's cute."
This finishing move is hot.
But then the other piece is the actual functionality of the finishing move, what it's capable of doing. So we got a couple teases. The big one they talked about is heavy ammo. So if you finish a enemy and you have that mod equipped, now that mod is a class item mod. It's on the far right column of the artifact, so it's probably going to take a little bit to unlock. But potentially that finishing move can give you heavy ammo for your whole team. Now for the raid,
big deal.
For those nightmare hunts, whatever it is you're going to be going through, that's to be able to control to get a heavy ammo drop is huge because we don't have synths. We've been missing those, and finding any way, even if it's just, oh, here's the thrall. Well, let me shoot him a couple times and then smash him in the face for heavy ammo. Even if you're doing like random solo stuff, the control that you can have with that is really, really important. So that's a big one, but that's going to cost you half your super bar.
Yes.
So it's pricey. And it's also 7 energy, so your class item is not going to have a whole lot else going on. So if you do that, you're gonna go pretty special into that. Now, and you're like, well, that sounds good. What's better? So there's another one. This is the one I figure my brother's gonna do. So the mod on the artifact right below that one, or maybe one more. I can't pull it up right now to look, but I know most of these off the top of my head. There's one that says any void grenade damage will weaken an enemy.
Interesting.
So depending on your
though.
What? How long? How many damage ticks? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, picture a vortex grenade. Probably ticks them a little bit. You'll probably see a debuff. But picture my brother's a Titan. So picture a Sentinel Titan. Whether he goes Sentinel Shield or Ward of Dawn, he either throws the grenade first and then pops a Sentinel Shield that you can shoot through. So he has the debuff on the enemy and the buff on you. So he's your entire damage buff in one character.
Yeah, literally.
Which is a pretty powerful like build. If you're going to be a support class, that's actually a really cool thing to do.
Absolutely.
Same thing could do with like pop Ward of Dawn. Everybody ready? Came throwing the grenade and Weapons of Light go. So I mean, those are certain things. Warlocks could be the same way. You could throw your own grenade and then go do a Nova Bomb and it could hit harder.
Yeah.
So
the
I mean,
key is going to be the level of
damage.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I mean, it costs just as it's like 6 energy, so you can't split it with anything else on that one.
Right.
So I mean, it's still a pricey one. So I think it's going to be a decent chunk. Because Void isn't one of those that's like overly powerful. It's not like Golden Gun. It's not like Blade Barrage. Yeah. It's not going to go big chunk of damage from you, but it is going to help you be more beneficial.
Right.
Now the weird one is for like a hunter, you can't do like a void wall and then tether. But if you do a tether and then your tether runs out and you want more damage buff, then throw the grenade out and you've still got a damage debuff on the enemy. So it's going to allow people to really go for basically just that right now. Yeah. I was like, I'm looking at it right now. Almost playing a support role by sacrificing your super to give heavy ammo, or if you're going to go, say finishing move, something like that, that's huge for the heavy. So that's so you have like one person who could have the like void grenade be that support like damage buff debuff. One person, one or two are your heavy built like ammoers, and then you've got a couple people that are more like I'm set up like full DPS mode, going crazy, like more powerful, survive my finishers more frequently, stuff like that.
Right.
Like it gives. I mean, he said it well. It's like it gives possible for a little more diversity in builds, and I think just that last tier. Because I went back and watched the Vidoc again from whenever it was in July. And they go through and they talk about just like the last tier of that artifact being like nearly exotic level mods. And they are pretty damn close to that.
Wow. That's impressive, man. I want to reiterate just cut you for one second. I want to reiterate what Spirit Gaming said, because I agree. I think that he's saying, I think by giving people that choice, I think they're trying to balance people spamming super as possibly almost like playing a support role by sacrificing your super to give heavy ammo. I completely agree. I think that they've come up with a cool way to make you lose super.
That's
you know
true.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people are gonna get intoxicated by the flashiness of these finishing moves. You know what I'm saying? And then if they grind for these rewards and these mods, these specific mods that is going to play balance, I can completely see that. And then they kind of knock out 2 birds with 1 stone kind of deal. So I completely agree with Speed Gaming. That's exactly what's going on from a balance perspective.
Yeah. So it's been a lot to dive into. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of what this thing looks like. All right. So a couple other ones we've got are for mods. We have the heavy finisher, we know. And then we've got Thunder Coil, which is going to be 6 energy cost, grants bonus damage for all arc melee abilities, and refund super energy on finisher final. So all arc melees are stronger. Your super energy is refunded, but you cannot pair that with the other one.
Right.
They make them literally 6 or 7, so you're only going to get that one.
That one, yeah. I see what they do.
There's a couple other that are cool. We've got Arc Battery, grants an overshield and reduces cooldown during activation of all Arc class abilities.
Okay.
So, I mean, whether you cast your super, a grenade, a melee, one will make it longer. Like, melee and, like, it's just the animation of, like, a punch or a grenade throw. So, like, that doesn't seem that long, but I guess if you use a roaming super, which most Arc ones typically are, then you'll get your other abilities back. So, it's a way to do that.
Also, I don't know if we mentioned before, another thing they mentioned on stream is that there's no invulnerability phase during these finishing moves. You can be killed. Yeah. So that's another thing people have to pay attention. There is risk reward, and Deej was very clear on mentioning that during stream.
And that may be important for somebody who does that to maybe spec into as much resilience as possible. So if you are going to be up in the mix a little closer, more resilience is going to be potentially a big thing. Maybe you go invisible more frequently and you set up a build that way.
So get your Constantines, baby. Get your Constantines. You can find.
So finding a way to figure out what works best. And that's why I hope, as cool as some of these sound, that they actually do set up different builds and make it viable. Yeah. I know people are going to find like the optimal. I mean, the Glads are going to be like, all right, you're on this, we're good. Like, they'll figure out the best. But I do think it's got potential to do some really cool stuff. So that's like that's the 5th tier of just the artifact.
So, and I think my last point, I think monetization wise, if they're smart, they keep adding finishing moves, different ones, even every season. I mean, could you imagine foolishness like the Karate Kid?
Oh yeah, no,
like,
I mean, but
they can go crazy with it.
Oh, you absolutely will see those. Like, there's going to be like the 1-inch punch or something like that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that'll definitely be a thing. But I mean, that's an animator sitting in a corner, like one person making a money, able to do that. Same as an artist.
This is going to be the new dances. These are the new emotes. Trust me.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, you're going through and you're like, oh, I want to finish this. That you're going to have some pretty cool videos of those. But from what we've seen, we've got the heavy finisher. There was a special finisher, it looked like. I saw that, which was for special ammo finisher. So you'll be able to get some special. And that was worth like 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was definitely smaller. I saw one on the artifact, which is like the freebies that you get in the beginning. Your finisher can give you glimmer.
Right.
So, I mean, they have some basic level ones. So your finisher can still function and finish up the enemy. And glimmer, 250 power cap, still going to be a thing worth getting in the beginning. But you've got different options in there as well.
Hello.
So tier 1 on the artifact is pretty basic stuff. It's going to be just like that. Most of it is glimmer or Vex related. And some of them seems like you get more glimmer from killing Vex. It's pretty basic stuff. Right. Now, level 2, and this is where I'm going to bring it back full circle.
Let's go.
To the evolving world. So level 2 is when we get into the Nightmare Hunt specific mods. So the Nightmare Hunts have 3 difficulties. Nightmare Hunts, okay, pull it back. The new activity on the moon is called a Nightmare Hunt. Now, you've got strikes we've had before, still going to have patrols, still have some activity I don't even know what is. But the new big one for the moon are these Nightmare Hunts. One of them is Zydron the Gatelord.
Okay.
Ooh. And that's from Destiny 1. So the one who just got smashed a whole bunch for many, many reasons. But yes, he was part of that Vex planet story. And he is going to have, the Nightmare Hunt is going to have 3 different difficulties. The first 2 are match made. The third is not. 860 power, 920 power. Those are both match made. 950, no matchmaking.
Wow.
So you've got power level jumps for sure. And then you've also got modifiers. And then the modifiers, we've got 860 is just air superiority. Quick speculation. What do you think that means? Go. Hot take, 5 seconds, go.
This is all your air superiority. Like, jump around, shoot from top, get your
Icarus
Icarus mods
that's my
on.
guess. Yeah, literally that. Like floating warlocks or Icarus mods. You'll be more powerful in the air. Yeah, floof and shoot. That's what that should actually be called. Floof and shoot.
Yep,
like
floof and shoot, baby. Let's go.
So then we get into, so that's adept. That's the low level. Then you've got hero, which is 920. That's going to have still the air superiority. You've got it's like an enraged version of Zydron. I keep forgetting the name off the top of my head because I can't pull it up. But it's like a modifier for him.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Torment of Zydron or something like that. And it's just like, so the boss is just going to be pissed the whole time. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. It's like he could, who knows? He's going to be enraged the whole time. And then finally, we've got 2 modifiers that deal with what we're going to be fighting. You've got Champion's Barrier and Champion's Overload. Now, those, as you briefly look through, I've seen a picture of a knight that says like barrier, like barrier champion. Okay. So there's a specific type of enemy you fight to get through a barrier of something. And there's also, I don't know if it's the ogre, but there might be the overload one. But we've got specific mods that are actually going to make you more powerful against those enemies. So there's literally a mod in the second column of the artifact. Anti-barrier, hand cannon artifact, or hand cannon and then auto rifle and submachine both have this as an option. And these are worth 0, by the way. 0 cost of energy.
0, wow.
0.
Oh, wow, so these freebies.
Shield piercing rounds, designed to bypass combatant defensive, strong against barrier champions. So they're going to steer you to use a weapon type.
Yes.
So the anti-barrier has auto rifle submachine gun, which is one mod, and then hand cannon for another. And then below that, we've got the overload. And it basically states uninterrupted fire, so submachine guns and autos, can basically disrupt a overload champion or whatever, and basically like stops their ability casting.
Wow.
It sounds like, because it says it like reduces their energy and stuff like that. So that's going to be done from bows, which has got to work different, because I mean you have the overload, which is uninterrupted fire on the auto rifle, and then you have the bows, which has the same icon. So those are going to be the overload champions. And then there's one more, which has like a square, which I don't know what it is, but that's a hand cannon one. So here's the big question, bringing us full circle.
Bring it back.
So we've got a seasonal artifact. We know it only works for 3 months. We've got mods that make these new activities on the moon, nightmare hunts, literally built for that mod.
Right.
At the end of your season, that artifact goes away. Those mods go away. And now we talk about the possible of seasonal content going away. And it leads me to believe the nightmare hunts are also what are going to depart. So here's the question. What do you think about potentially seasonal only, only lasting so long content? And then also, this is like the Shadowkeep activity, and it may not last. So that's the big build.
Yeah, I know where you go with this.
So this is when we get all the way back to an evolving world. This is Luke's final thing.
Oh, nice setup. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
See, there's a method. So here's the paragraph.
This boy hosted today, boy. Let's go.
I've been so deep into this crap. So during season 8, a new situation will unfold on the moon. I'm being cagey here because I am reluctant to spoil anything. Over the course of the season, parts of the game will change before the situation culminates in an event that will ultimately resolve it, and its content will be exhausted. But this resolution sets up the events of Season 9, which adds something new to the game and resolves it, something that will go away, but not before setting up Season 10. So we have an evolving world of stuff of your annual pass and your seasons that is not going to stay in the game. You have activities that will potentially not stay around.
I know where this is going.
So what do you think? No, I'm here. No, I'm like, this is it. So like he talked about the evolving world. Now we see the artifacts. We see what we may be losing because the artifact specifically works for that. So how do you feel about this first, and then how do you think it's gonna work? And come on, it's all yours now.
All right, here's the thing, man. I've seen the chatter on the interwebs. I've seen the
chatter.
The chat. I've seen the tiki torches. I've seen the the comments. Yeah, exactly. And people are saying, "Yo, like, what does this mean? Like, I'm gonna be losing content. You're gonna get rid of content." And this is what I say, and this is why I gotta side. I gotta put my corporate hat on now. I gotta side with Bungie on this. Here's the deal. Luke said it explicitly. I believe it was Director's Cut 2. At some point, just from a technical standpoint, right? You cannot keep adding to this game and filling up without reaching a threshold, right? We've already stated, right, that powerful engrams, or powerful gear, not engrams, but powerful gear, the challenges across the map are way too much, right? So they've already said they're going to be peeling that back, right? Now, in terms of this seems like with this season specifically, right? With this event that they're trying to say a new situation on the moon, and then something's going to resolve it. Content will be exhausted, whatever, right? I need to see that first before. So this is a little caveat. I need to see what that is. I don't know what that is, right? So I cannot say chill out, y'all, or that because I don't know what that is. But let's bring it back to something that we do know, like Gambit Prime and Gambit. They're telling us at some point one is going to go. It's not going to be this season, they said.
Not for a year, by the way.
Yeah, for a year. They said that's not going to go for a while. But at the same time, again, stuff cannot stay forever. So I personally don't have an issue with this. You know what I'm saying? Now, where I will say, this is where they may get themselves in trouble. There's only one thing I worry about. I worry about something like, look at what happened with Season of Opulence, right? And you got the menagerie. And we will say, for the most part, minus the chess not rewarding as much, can we agree that the menagerie was a success?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
it was a beloved mode, right?
Yep.
So let's just say we have something like that. And it's basically the evolution of Escalation Protocol, which was beloved also, but just didn't have matchmaking, right? So I'm just worried that if we do have another mode that is beloved, that is not part of the axing program. That is where they may get themselves in trouble. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. But I think that ultimately Bungie is smart enough to realize that, one, if your engagement in this mode is that high, if people are playing something that high, that they are not going to remove that mode. I think it's going to be, one, thematically stuff that just doesn't fit. Two, stuff that's not performing. So let's look at what's not. I mean, outside of the Pyro's video with farming forges, who's really out here in the forges like that anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be content that they're going to look at and they're going to say, look, the engagement is there, ain't there. You know, we're still going to give them the rewards in other sources. Remember, they did say that. They're not going to take away the rewards. So if you wanted I'm just using the forge as an example. You know, if you wanted your blast furnace, you could get it as a world drop or whatever, somewhere else. They're going to do things like that. But, you know, look, this is controversial. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is very controversial. Some people are not going to like this. Me personally, one, they were transparent, which I've always complained. We and you will always go at it, right? And I said, if they tell me, I'm okay. He's telling me.
Yeah.
Right? I'm good. Now I can brace for it. The old Bungie, you'd wake up and Escalation Protocol is gone or whatever. They would just do things. And you'd be like, why are they doing this? You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's technical limitations. D2 is a sandbox that is filling up crazy, memory constraints. And let's be real, D3, you know, they got to prep for that as well. So I'm done rambling. Overall, don't have a problem with it. They have to be careful. They have to listen to the community when it's something they love. That's all I got to say. E, the floor is yours.
I mean, so that brings it back to Ben Spear said something well. The seasons are a la carte. And I think to answer your question is, as it is an evolving world, I don't think you're going to be able to go buy an old season.
Right.
Because you're going to be able, if you buy the season pass, you'll have access to it. But come December or January, when we get to season 9, whenever said time comes, because as we're launching a month later, I'm kind of curious how they date this stuff now. When that world finishes its culmination and evolves, that old stuff's going to be gone. Now, it will depend. That will be one of those things I think people wonder about is like, hey, do I buy Shadowkeep and, you know, the next season comes out next week? Well, do I buy last season? No, wait a week. So that'll be an interesting thing to decide. Do you get the annual pass early, or if you don't, you buy the other couple a la carte? But as that world evolves and you wrap a storyline, you wrap a piece of lore. I mean, okay, for speculation side, if these are the nightmare hunts, we wake something up on the moon. When you go through the Vidoc, they're like, it's not going to work the same way. You can't achieve victory the same way. They're nightmares. They're phantasms. They're not real.
Right.
So whatever force is causing all of this is, as a nightmare, theoretically in lore standpoint, this is a way that you can be like, you're literally fighting something in your head.
Right.
So at some point, we're going to have to get to that source.
Right.
And that's going to be like the culmination of the season, and said source of whatever we're fighting, whatever culminates in the end, stops those nightmares from happening. And those literally won't be gone. So however all that goes, but then when you come into season 9, Moon won't be haunted anymore. Potentially. Yeah, it's like Moon's haunted. Maybe not anymore, because that's been resolved and now we're on to what's next. So, I mean, if they do something like that, they build a lore reason behind it, they give you an event, as we're seeing a world event, which is kind of cool for the game. You see an event basically go through, and then it kind of changes the way. And we have the Vex Invasion right now. What comes next? So, like, if they put enough like lore systems, like gameplay changes, invasion of Vex, like if you have a big influx of changes going into 9, you have a culmination event to finish up the season. I'm okay with it because if nothing else, I think that will be a cool way for the world of Destiny to like actually see a game that evolves, not just like stick another planet on the director and stick another planet on the director. So I think those will be cool.
Yeah, I just want to hit Spear up. Yeah, Spear, I hear your concern, bro, but they definitely address that aspect because he's like, Spear basically is saying, it's like, hey, what if they Terra Exotic in season 8, but you don't start playing until season 9, you can't get it. They were explicit. Luke was very explicit. The rewards is not going away. They will be dispensed in other places. Yep. So in your case, if, like I said, I'm going to use Black Armory as an example.
Yeah, the Jotun, you want that gun.
Yeah, let's say Jotun, right? Like, finally got it, thank God. You know what I'm saying? Like, say the Jotun. So say, for example, that was part of that season. The new season comes out. They get rid of the Forge and be like, damn, how am I going to get Jotun? And the way it was explained, that will be in another source. It may be in a world drop. They may put it in another activity, but you will not lose the gear and the reward. You will lose, the activity on a new season. And again, I have no problem with it. This is the reason why I think part of it is cool. Because narratively, you tell a story. Some of the worst things in D1 that I didn't like was like,
the stranger, the traveler,
the traveler, and like you want this to be an evolving world. You want to feel like things are changing, things are happening, and when the Red War is over, I don't want to keep seeing Red War stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's over. We're on to something else now. So that I'm cool with. The only thing that I am concerned, to the chat's defense, is again, if there is a mode, an activity that is beloved, that people like, trials. I don't want to hear, you know what I'm saying, that, we're moving this away if the community really stands behind. That's my only thing.
Here, now, when you show up your trials guy, I'm just going to be like, this is the good raid right here.
I like that. He had that on stash for me. I like that. I'm about to see if there's an Atheon one I can find.
I got Shacks up there. I got a few. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
But yeah, I think the big thing is you worry about, and I mean, I listened to another podcast. You've got, Say No to Rage. Him and Tassie were talking earlier in the week, and you have the issue of introducing content that people like too much, and you relieve it. Like somebody's like, "Oh, the Reckoning's gone." Everybody's like, "Thank God!" Like you would be fine with the Forges. Honestly, overall, I mean, the journey to get to the Forges was brutal. I mean, unlocking the Forges was kind of rough, but the Forges in and of themselves were not a bad activity. They were repetitive. They weren't that creative, but overall, they were not like just dragged.
I think you nailed it. Reckoning is the perfect example.
Everybody can be like, "See ya."
Exactly.
But Menagerie, everybody's like, "Whoa."
Well, yep. Those are the two perfect discrepancies.
Yeah. So
Reckoning, Menagerie.
And then here's the question, and I think could have been Lono said it really well to say, how do you balance the activities you make so they're good enough to be good for a season, but not so good you're worried about them going away? And you have that balance. Is like, or is it just going to be the point we just have to accept, even if it's a badass activity like the Menagerie, if, we are finally full from strength and we are finally fat from strength and we're done, he's like, all right, sorry, Menagerie, it's shutting down. Like, Callus shuts it down. If there's a thematic and a story reason to any of this,
that could affect it.
I'm good with it.
You're making a good point. Yeah. You're making a good point. Because, like, again, narratively, if we get conclusion to the Callus story, and let's say we, kill him or whatever, we technically can't be going to the Menagerie and hearing his voice talk.
At some point when that ship floats off into space.
By the way, shout out. I've been doing a lot of Menagerie lately. Whoever the voice actor is he's hilarious. Do you just I go into the Menagerie to listen to what he has to say every round, bathing you with this and killing this and talking about the enemy. He's a lot. Shout out to Callie. I just feel like I got a glass of something real opulent in my hand. He's talking extra strong. It's just funny, man. He's hilarious. Shout out to Callie.
Oh yeah. So I mean, that's kind of the idea of these nightmare hunts could be really cool. You're going to have different modifiers. You've got difficulties. And the other thing, when you get to these activities, you're going to have really hard encounters. No matchmaking on the 950 power. And you're going to be looking like, why do I go in there? And this goes into like the difficulties. They're changing them up. And this is where I wanted to bring it at. We've got a good amount of chat in here. I wanted to ask you guys as well. Now that we have an idea about power, so we know 950 relatively hard cap. The pinnacle cap is 960. And your artifact, we also learned, can get you an infinite power level. Now, it is going to get harder the higher you get. It's probably going to be an exponential curve once you get higher to a point. But depending on how your power level goes and how all of that stuff works, where do you think in 4 days this raid is going to land now? Or, question 2, do you think there's going to be more than one difficulty of the raid this time?
Yeah, I think multiple difficulties come back. I don't think we touched this whole power level. We briefly touched
infinite power, or just So I mean, I just kind of skimmed through it, but we're going from 750 to 950.
Right.
900 is the soft cap, where basically anything you pick up will help. 900 and 950 is how it's done before. Powerful rewards, things like that. Then 950 to 960 is only going to come from pinnacle activities. Most of us assume raid, maybe the dungeon, maybe these like legendary nightmare hunts. Probably just the top tier few things to get those last 10 levels. So hashtag forever 29.
No doubt.
And then separate from that, account wide is your artifact.
Right.
So your artifacts can give you a bonus power level, which will hopefully affect your incoming and outcome, incoming damage, outgoing damage, stuff like that. It's account wide and it's just experience based, but there is no cap to it. Ben Womack straight up said, it's as high as you spend the time in. It's however many hours are in the day. So, I mean, there's only so much you can play, so there's a limit somewhere. But, I mean, whether you get to 972 or 1,095 and have a stupid power jump, it's all going away at the end of the season.
Right.
So, yeah, I know I was trying to fill all that in, so whatever we're going to get to now.
No, I love it. I think they may have found the balance, which is the hardcore balance. And what I mean by it is that, shout out to Fran Marabella, because we've had this discussion with him at GCX, and I've had discussions with him offline as well. And the thing about it is that the grind, we all know, comes down to RNG a lot of times. You need the arms, you need that boot, it's holding you back. Me and you can play the set amount of hours. But if you get lucky with the drops you need, you may be more raid ready than me. Now, what this system, to me, this is how I look at it. When I see the artifact system and I see this separate power level that's independent of that you can add additionally by just playing the game, to me, that rewards the hardcore. That rewards the dedicated. And that, to me, is the ultimate bragging right, because that person's putting in the work. He's doing it. He should be afforded that. You know what I'm saying? Also, I love the fact that they're getting back to pinnacle activities, rewarding stuff. Get your behind in the raid. Get your behind in a Shattered Throne. Learn these things. Stop staying like. Don't get me wrong, casual blueberries, that we're gonna love you in October 1st. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna love you. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna help you out. And you got new light and you got all this stuff. You're gonna be right on the level. But there's great content that you guys are not experiencing, you know what I'm saying, because of fear or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or just maybe you don't have a party or whatever. That's fine. That's understandable. But this separation is going to make you want to get in. And that's how I became. I was the same casual person in D1, right? It was not until, that's why Walter Glass beloved me, is I didn't even was.
You're gonna be like forever 950, but I want to be 951.
Yeah, like I was like, I didn't know what level 30. How do you get there? You know what I'm saying? Like what? And then my boys were like, yo, you have to do this thing, and I'm like, what is this? And it changed my life, and I became. Rating has been so much fun. Not that I'm doing it consistently like I want to, but that's what I think is the pinnacle activity. I'm so glad I came across it, and I think they have to do this, and it's smart. Last point. Smart for engagement, because let's be real, if there's a metric out here, I'm gonna guess D2 raids metric engagement ain't high.
I saw Pyro go over to I think he did cross save, got on PS4. 3% of people had done Last Wish, and that's your biggest player base.
Case in point, I just did cross save, right?
Yep.
When I did the switch to PC post Forsaken, but I did Last Wish for the first time, completed it on PC. Right. Shout out to Mikey Barra. Shout out to the Xbox crew that helped me through. Right. I did cross save, came back to Xbox this week just to see, to see the functionality.
Yeah.
As soon as I logged in, Xbox achievement, you completed Last Wish raid. Now Xbox has this diamond icon for rare achievements that the rest of the population doesn't have. Last Wish came up at that 3 to 5 percentile, whatever that percentage was, so low that it came up as a rare achievement that I completed the raid. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
How sad is that? Because we all agree, right? Last Wish, Taken King, Vaulted Glass, any one of that 3 is up there. Like as far this is the best content people are not experiencing. So I love it, man. Get them in there, make them do these pinnacle activities. And again, they'll be fine at 9, whatever, right? It's not that they can't play the game. They won't be able to do stuff. They'll be able to do stuff. But if you want that bragging right, do that. And then I think about a guy like you, last point, with the artifact. You put in the work, bro. You put in the work. Like you one of my favorites. Everyone, you know what I'm saying? And you should be rewarded for the amount of grind. Like when I come in, I'm like, oh man, they got that 980. Damn. All right. Yeah. He put in the work though. He did them solo vids. He did that shadow. He was doing them dungeons. Yo, I respect it. Like that's what the hardcore needs. You gotta reward them with that. And it's balanced because at the end of the season, okay, clean slate. You ain't gonna hold over. We ain't gonna give you seniority now.
Yeah, the most you're gonna have is 960 versus 950. Exactly. And that everybody can okay, so everybody can get to, but it's not so big of a disparity.
Yeah.
Like 960, 950, you'll have a smidge of an advantage. And this is the wonder. The gear advantage will be there. 950 to 960. You'll still see that in Iron Banner. You'll still see that in Gambit Invasions, but it's only 10 points. It's not huge.
Right.
But if somebody has like 75 plus power level, and then we're talking about Iron Banner, Gambit Invasions, my assumption is the artifact will not affect your damage in those places. I have to
probably
assume.
Not. You think it would be probably PvE only? Yeah,
I would think so. Because otherwise, it's like Iron Banner is going to be woof.
It'd be a mess. Yeah, there'd be no way to control it. These guys running around like
100 power levels above.
Exactly.
So there was only one question you didn't answer.
What's up? What's the one I missed?
Okay, so if we go power level of the raid, I know we said difficulty, normal and hard. So if you do 2 difficulties, where do you place them?
I'm terrible at this stuff.
750 to 950, somewhere in there.
Stop and behave. Damn, you figure what is it? Saturday content launch on a Tuesday. Raid goes live on a Saturday. We start at
96 hours.
Right. We start at 750. I'm terrible at this stuff. First encounter 850. I don't know, man.
For normal or for hard? Because you got 4 days. You might be able to do a normal at say 850, which could work, but then say hard might be like 925.
Yeah.
Something like that. A decent jump between them. And then probably the final encounter of hard is probably about 950.
Yeah,
maybe
probably so.
960, depending.
Right.
So all I know is there's a lot of levels to cover in a short time. Yeah. So if they don't do 2 difficulties, I really feel like it's not going to find a good balance either early or late. It's going to be too high too early or too easy too late. One of the two.
And I think you're right, and I think that they notice they've got the data. One thing about they see what's happening to these raids. Again, World First comes, it's a challenge up until that point. Then once people break through, that's it. They're melting. So I think all of this stuff is strategic. The whole thing with Luke with the supers and the debuffs and all that. This is all setting up, and then they're letting us know Pinnacle content is going to get you out. This is all setting up for you to be in Pinnacle content, for Pinnacle content to be harder. I think we probably do get a different difficulty mode. I think this is what's going to probably solve those issues to raids and stuff being that high level content, that it needs to be. I think that's the direction we're going.
Well, we've also got the Delta. It's 100 levels now above that you can actually still now do damage. You might get worked, but you can actually do damage 100 levels above you in an activity.
Right.
So that's different than 50. If it was 51, they were just the skull and you couldn't touch them.
Right.
So now if it's, you can do it up to 100. So there's a lot of things that lead into these. When they talk about these difficulties, they mention this is going into the new Nightfall system.
Right.
Not sure how that's going to work. Is this going to be like Adept and Hero and Legend and they're just set modifiers for the week and you just have to deal with what's there? Or is it going to be the Nightfall challenge card and you can change some things up, but some are set? Like, there's a lot of, they're giving us a lot more option for challenge and definitely ways to face harder content if we choose to.
Yeah, those extra difficulties, you know, they're talking about those extra level bumps for like stuff like Nightfall to add more significant challenge. I think I saw about 2 or 3, you know, more joints. So they're doing things to ramp stuff up. And, you know, as long as the rewards are equate, you know, and are worth it, I have no problem with it. I'm all for this stuff. I think they're on the right path. I think they're figuring it out finally, that balance that they need for pinnacle content as well as light level. You know, there's still some questions, but for the most part, from what I'm hearing so far, sounds good.
So yeah, we've got a lot. Oh my God. I'm trying to even think through everything we got this week. So we got this season, the Gamescom trailer, which kind of went through a little brief preview of just like Shadowkeep, what's going on the moon. We're dealing with Eris and that. And then we got the season of Undying trailer. This was your favorite. Full cinematic only, but there is a reason that the Vex very specifically have gone to the Black Garden or the Garden of Salvation or whatever, or that's the name of the raid, I should say. And then when you go, I love how Bungie's so like cheeky with like calling, describing things. The Garden of Salvation, a signal emerges from the dark and reaches beyond dimensions into the uncharted wilds of the Black Garden. Where it leads inside the garden remains a mystery, one that whispers with temptation, yearning to be solved. Just that little bit of like flavor text for the raid, and I was like,
they're good at that. They're experts at this thing.
Yeah, very well written piece there. So we do also get to see a couple new exotics. We have confirmed now, just in case there was a question, we've got the hand cannon with a scope, going to be using special ammo, so it's like a mini sniper. Sir. You've got the heaviest of heavy bike chain bows. That thing is a monster, by the way.
Yeah. Beast.
And then there's a machine gun that I've seen running around. Monte Carlo's coming back.
Monty.
And then did you see the season of Undying armor? Have you seen that picture on the page?
Oh, that joint. Mean. That look like raid gear is so lit. Like,
see, I don't think they're going to show you raid gear, though.
No, it's not. Shout out to Cat because he did a good video on it as well. Yeah. And I know you talked about it. That stuff looks mean.
Dude, that Titan with those 2 like gold. With the thick, so cool. Yeah, my Titan's looking good. And yeah, you can put your space shaman away. You can get this stuff.
For my little man. You know what's funny? It's growing on me.
You were talking about that. So we were talking offline. I was like, and he's like, people using my shaman picture. I'm like, what are you talking about? You hate that thing. And he's like, but I feel like it's mine now. I'm like, wait,
what? I've owned it now. Like I've assimilated my shaman.
Now you are an Astro Shaman. There you go.
The hoodless cloak.
Yeah, the hoodless cloak's cool too because you've got the hunter in the middle doesn't look like he's got a big hood. It's just like the 3 eyes and the gold. Man, that stuff, we all look like goblins walking around. It looks freaking awesome. So
yeah, that's fire. That's one of some of the best gear I've ever seen. I love Vex Steam stuff.
Now we're looking
that's
good.
amazing.
Yeah. So defend our moon from the Vex Invasion and face the Undying Mind. Now, we know the name the Undying Mind. That was a boss. That was a boss.
Yep. That was a boss.
In the season of Undying, you'll experience a new activity, discover new exotic weapons, one of which is Monte Carlo, collect exclusive universal ornaments, and grow more powerful. So here's the thing. When you look at the couple frames we get of inventories, you see Shadowkeep weapons, like all the ones that look like they're wrapped in the kind of the beads and feathers and stuff like that. Those have the Shadowkeep ornament, or the Shadowkeep icon. Monte Carlo has the little Vex icon. It's different. So what
Interesting.
So does Vex mean it came from a season but potentially exotics don't go away, so that'll continue. But then the seasonal weapons, like the moon ones that use the seasonal artifact mods,
right,
won't have their function come season 9.
Right.
So you've got now they're finding a way to actually take weapons and say, whether you like this or not, it may be okay in PvP, but you're not going to bring this into PvE because you're going to get new weapons that are going to go with other mods. So they're like, they're finding these gradual ways. They're like being generous and like, yeah, you can use your armor. You'll eventually get to armor 2.0. Yeah, you could use this weapon in PvP for a while if you like it, but in PvE, you're probably going to want the new season. They're going to make these, like, I don't want to say force shifts, but they're going to start pushing us forward to, like, start leaving things behind, which is something I'm happy about. I don't want us to hold on to Gallahorn for 12 years. It gets so, it's boring. It's just boring. It's not fun. So I think this is the subtle pieces of, like, I've been trying to figure out in my head. I was like, well, yeah, so they have very specific mod slots. Those aren't going to do anything. But you can take these mods, use them during the season. Guess what? You're going to need new armor, too.
Right.
So all those things are going to be, they're finding ways to make you be like, do you really want to infuse your Season 8 armor into Season 9? Maybe, but it's probably not going to use the new artifacts. So then you're going to be getting new armor in the next season as well. So you've got this, like, kind of in and out, like, now working when you get to new seasons. I don't know. What do you think?
It's interesting. I mean, I think this is a way that they're trying to solve a lot of their long-term issues, you know what I'm saying, with the game. And I got to see it. The weapons, I don't know, though. I do agree with you on some levels. You know what I'm saying? That, like, okay.
I mean, a gun will still work the same way in PvP. That's not going to change. So if you're like, hey, I got a really good setup, got a good roll. I don't even know if they're ever going to do weapons 2.0, but I doubt it. Maybe. I don't know. But if you get a good roll and you like how that weapon feels and it's good in the meta and it's like a good 180 hand cannon, that's not going to functionally change. But if you take it into PvE into the season in the future, you won't be able to use a future mod. So you will be kind of at a detriment. So it will depend on where you use it.
It's interesting. It's interesting with this mod stuff. I mean, it's almost low key forced retirement of certain things, you know, of certain legendaries. You know what I'm saying? So I think exotics, you know, it's not going to affect it. I don't see that. But yeah, legendaries definitely going to. I gotta see though. It's one of those things. I'm thematically for it, but I just need to see it in action before I make a final judgment on whether this is definitely the way to go. You know what I'm saying? Because I know some people are going to fall in love with certain things. You know what I'm saying? And will there be pushback? Will there be...
I mean, you've seen it before. People are like, oh, I'm wiping out my whole vault. And I'm like, any expansion in any other RPG, just leave your crap behind and get new stuff. Like, you don't... This is the only place really I've ever seen Infusion continue bringing stuff up.
You know why? Here's the problem they have. Because they're so damn good with gunplay, you form on it. First of all, because it's a FPS, and like I said, Bungie is the master of gunplay. You fall in love with these things, and you're like, "Yeah, that's my baby." You know what I'm saying? With the god roll or whatever. Now you can still use it, right? But it's not gonna have that functionality with that extra little bonus thing. You know what I'm saying? That little bonus, you ain't gonna have that no more. So it'll be interesting, you know, to see if people, you know, still begrudgingly, or they're just gonna be forced to move on.
Yeah. And that's kind of, that's a nice way to balance. Like if there's a weapon you love how it feels in PvP that you can continue to use, you won't lose that functionality if they, you know, put all the numbers together and it just like, it fits really well for you.
Right.
But in turn, like PvE will kind of be a force shift, but PvP, you kind of get the variety, you get the choice. And I think that's actually probably going to be okay. And I think I enjoy those moments. I've been goofing around. I've just been going through all my Solstice grind, and it is done. All 3 characters, they're done. It's finished. It's over. Thank God. But as I was going through like different characters, I was just using whatever crap was on them. I wasn't really switching things over, going through. I was just using what was there, just messing around, and like random some blue submachine gun I was using. I was like, oh, this actually isn't so bad. It actually hit decently. Got kill clip on it. Oh, this thing's burning the mini boss right now. Cool. There are moments of playing. We get all stuck in a rut.
Yes.
And I think this is a nice way for them to just nudge you to the next rut. So like you get a little variety, because some of this game too, I mean, think about something like Borderlands or Diablo. Oh, I got a new bow. Oh, I got a different crossbow. Okay, now I've got a sword. Like, you get a really cool drop and you want to use something different.
Right.
We get so stuck on some of these things that we don't want to experience some of the cool stuff that they made. And I think it's a nice way for them to, like, steer you into be like, I mean, this time they've got auto rifles, hand cannons, and bows.
Yeah.
Those are your mods that are going to get those. Those are the guns that get those mods. So auto rifles, that I hope they get a buff, by the way. But they're going to steer you to autos and submachine guns. Autos and submachine guns in PvE. They're going to steer you to those multiple times for those mods. Like, it's going to change. Possibly my Go figure might sit.
Oh, finally, yeah.
It might sit on a shelf.
No. Speaking of ruts, Jesus, God, this man is so loyal to that Go figure. Whew.
Okay, I put on my Go figure, and then I was like, oh, let me switch to another character. Oh, this is a Bygones. I hear it's decent. It's trash. It's absolute trash. My Go figure.
Can't compete.
Well, the thing about it is the way the stats are set up. I have a counterbalance mod on it, and I have 85 recoil direction. So that recoil direction is just almost perfect. And it's like 90 range. So, I mean, there's only a blast furnace of basically equivalent setup would take it out of my slot. So
yeah, no, I agree. It's funny though. It's funny to hear you talk about it.
Oh yeah, it's been a thing. But yeah, I mean, we had the Vex season. There's a couple screenshots. The press kit has the images. So the Vex Invasion that goes along with the season of Undying. There's a giant Minotaur on the moon with a tree in his back.
Yes.
You have like goblins walking around with leaves, like
with the
all over their body.
Yeah, like they've been chilling. They've been waiting.
Yeah, they're just like, all right, I'm up. Where do I go? Where do I go? But the cool thing is, I think somebody stated, I forget if it was Tassie, maybe. I think he said this is the first time Vex and Hive are going to be together.
Yes. Very true.
First time they may actually fight each other.
Yes, very true. Want to see the motivations, man. Want to learn more. Can't wait. This is cool stuff, man. I even like the cinematics. Shout out to the Vex Milk creating these monstrosities. You saw that in the trailer.
Oh, the Radiolaria. Yeah,
the Radiolaria. Shout out to Vex Milk. That was quite interesting. But yeah, man, it's gonna be cool, man. I hope we get. You know what I need for this? I need my man Ashimir to talk his talk. I just impossible.
Impossible.
I can listen to Asher Beard. That's another one. Callus, right now, Callus is he might be taking Asher's spot, but top NPCs right now is definitely, just for pure laughs, is definitely Asher Beard and Callus, man. Hilarious.
No,
I literally laugh every time I do a strike with them involved or the menagerie. I literally erupt in laughter while I'm doing it.
Well, I'm trying to think who I would have to pick. I'm just waiting for Eris more than anything.
She's just crazy.
She just terrifies me, but yeah, in just a good way. Couple more things. I know we are at 2 hours, guys, but there's so much to talk about. We're getting close to 2 hours, but there are a couple things I did want to hit from it's on Games Radar. I will put the link right here if you haven't seen it. They got a cool interview. I know the Fire Team chat's going to have them on there today. We'll see if they get any tidbits. But we've got a couple clarifications and a couple other screenshots they reminded me of. One of them, we have raid-specific mods.
Woo! Let's go.
So here's one. Active only in the Garden of Salvation raid. So it is for the season. Greatly increases... Oh, I have a better. Oh, greatly increases chances of finding heavy ammo if you have the Voltaic Overflow. What in the hell that means, I don't know. But I mean, it's a 3 energy cost collector. And it's a general armor mod. So like you can get raid mods and it stacks. So you can put 4 or 5 of these things on. The more of these mods you get, the more pieces of armor you get, the more benefits of wearing that armor in there. So actually finally looking at raid, using that raid set and having a benefit in the raid.
Feels. We just were talking about that with Tassie. I just was complaining, right? And I saw this, I was like, that's my Bungie. Listening. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, man. You got to get back to the sets. Got to get back to giving people advantages. Let's get back to also the raid activities with the gear, rewarding the mechanic. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. And it's an extra slot that can be interchangeable. So I want, again, my only question now is that raid gear. If I was using it, my question is, if you use that gear in other raids, is it just going to be specific? Will the raid slots be interchangeable per raid gear, or is it locked into the? I'm very curious about that part. I'm probably be locked in.
Yeah, it's probably for that because it says only in the Garden of Salvation on the mod. Yeah. And I would assume probably you're going to need the new raid set to be using new raid mods for whatever's up next. So, so that's one cool thing. Like raids going to have their own set of armor, which I don't know what that armor could look better than the Season of Undying armor.
Yeah,
but it's got to. If I'm going to go after it, it better look amazing too. But it's going to have some cool mod slots. So here's a question. I want to ask this to chat and you as well. Brief touch on it.
Let's get it.
How many new strikes do we get?
Asking Bill, you're asking.
We get 2. Now, if you're on PC and Xbox, we get access to a 3rd. But for PlayStation, for normal Shadowkeep, we get 2 new ones.
Yeah.
One we know of, the Scarlet Keep, which is likely to be a story mission. Because the way literally the flavor text is like, go investigate what's going on in the Scarlet Fortress. It's like, that sounds like a story mission.
Right.
The other one is on IO, and there's a brief frame in one of the videos that says Pyramidion. But what you're looking at in there is not the Pyramidion. It's like circular platforms, and the Pyramidion's on IO. So somebody actually joked when I was in Twitch, and they said, well, what if we're actually going to the Radiolarian Lake that Asher Mir joked about he's talking about it?
Yes, he said that. You should be here at the lake. We don't see that. Oh, yeah, that was good. Yep, that could very well be. We're going to get my boy back. Ash is back, baby. It's on.
So he will likely be talking to you in that one. And that one makes sense because it's Vex, Vex for the season makes sense as well there. So I'll be curious, but it said Pyramidion, so I'm wondering if it's like version 2? Because it said the exact same name, but I can tell you I've run that strike too many times. That platform did not exist in there. Yeah. Everything in the Pyramidion is very boxy and square and angular. Everything in that picture was round. So I was like, this is weird. So we get 2 strikes. Are you okay with 2? Wish it was more, less, okay?
Wish it was more, but, look, we're getting 2. I'm not going to get too crazy with everything else they're giving us. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of getting the pass with that, and I'm getting a touch too crazy. But, hopefully after this, let's get back into this kind of cadence per season.
Even if it's 1 strike a season, I'd be okay. It's more than we've had.
Come on. It's more than we have. We need strikes, though. It just makes the flavor of it, the variety, so much good. So, yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah. I mean, one said, too, it's like we can see how extensive the nightmare hunts are, like what's involved in those. And then also we have a Vex activity that's on the map that we don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Because you look on the map, you got Nightmare Hunts, you got Strike, the raid looks like it's in the corner. Bottom left is just some Vex circle. And it's a weekly challenge, and I have no idea what that is.
Yep. Crazy.
Maybe it's a round rectangle. It's a rounded rectangle, could be your joke. But yeah. They're like, what are Nightmare Hunts? Are there dungeons like Shadowkeep or more like Forsaken Baron Hunts? Their new activity, we're not talking about them. So we're not telling you. They do say something here when it comes to what activities will support the new Adept, Hero, and Legend difficulty modes. These difficulty labels you saw are part of the evolution of the Nightfall system. We're adding new difficulty tiers to challenge players. That's one small taste of what some of these extra levels will be and the activities they'll apply to in Shadowkeep. There's a lot of extra details we're not going into. So that's basically them saying we're going to have new difficulty options in a lot of places. Now, here's my only thing. What makes me want to go run Heroic Menagerie, whatever you want to say? Yeah,
not that whack sword.
Right. No, I mean, this is literally what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
If you go from 950 to 960, that's going to be some of the reason to run. But then the other side is like, why do I need to run a Nightfall at Bananas difficulty, at Legend difficulty with 6 modifiers? And that's the thing. It's like, Strike exclusives. I need some reason to go bash my head against crazy walls. Yeah, and that's one thing. The rewards have been somewhat lacking in a lot of places.
Oh, absolutely. Especially for guys like you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's difficult content. And
I mean, if I go run... Sorry, go ahead.
No, finish, bro. Like you
oh, no, I was just going to say, if I go run Shattered Throne, I just get Dreaming City gear that I get from anywhere else. I don't get anything. There's an exotic quest in there, but there's not a Shattered Throne set of armor. There's not Shattered Throne weapons. Nothing special comes from there. It's another Twilight Oath. It's another Reverie Dawn helm. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter. It was the accomplishment to do it, but you didn't get anything. There's not like Dolan Karu is not dropping a specific exotic like Vex Mythoclast from there. There's no like, oh, I didn't get it. Let me go again. Like, there's no drive to go back there. Once I've checked that box, I'm done.
Right. And to me, this is a way they can bring back skeleton keys. This is a way, you know what I was thinking too? How about another very rare item that is extremely cool is the curated role. How about curated roles being a reward?
Make them the best though. Yeah. Like if you look at the curated Blast Furnace, I can make a better version by the mod pool. It should be the damn good version. It should be the version.
In their mind, they thought it was good.
No, it's not.
In their mind,
no.
Clearly. And not their mind, they just made it. They just threw it random.
I'm sorry. I think Feeding Frenzy and Rampage is better than whatever else you're going to give me on my Blast Furnace.
No one's disagreeing. All I'm saying, for whatever reason, they thought go. It's clearly not.
I mean, my Retold Tale isn't bad. Could be a little better. But I mean, there's always I guess, I don't know how those roll in the loot pool. If those are like a more frequent occasional option. I think it was Mtash who ran and grinded out like Mindbender's Ambition. He got like 30 of them. Ran the strike of God knows how many times.
Wow.
But he had like, out of 30, he had like 7 or 8 curated. So almost a third were the same role. So maybe it shouldn't be the God role, but who knows?
Yeah.
But I still want...
at least...
Yeah, I still want it to be... No, I'm just going to say some need to be a little better. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I agree. I think it's just one of those things that we know, like I said, the chance, the probabilities are so low for getting that stuff. So how about increase that reward bank? Well, increase that probability. Reward guys like you. Like, look for example, the Solstice gear, right? Which I'm waiting on you. The Masterwork stuff. Yeah. I'm waiting. I put in my application. I've been waiting. You finally got there. Congratulations. Now help me.
We'll do some next week. It's fine.
Thank you, sir. So like look at that. Even one of the requirement is do Shattered Throne, 1 to 2 player. Right?
Yep.
How about when you do that solo? You know what I'm saying? That should be pinnacle reward. That is an extreme. You and the esoterics. Yeah, psychopath.
I'm not on his level.
You're good close. Like I'm a biggie. My man's nice. You know what I'm saying? He gets busy.
I'm okay, but he's crazy.
He's nice.
Good.
He don't give himself enough credit. But yeah, give out some core, give out some curated roles, give out a skill, give out something, give out strike specific loot, give out something. Then when my man does this, you're gonna be like, yo, where did you get that? How did you get that? Solo Shattered.
Since we're talking about Shattered Throne, War Blackjack brought it up earlier. So there is a piece of lore, and this is why I'm wondering with our power level that's coming. If it's now or if it's like next season. Then it says, if you defeat Dolan Karu alone at 999 power level, you end the curse of the Dreaming City. That's a piece of lore buried somewhere.
That's real?
That's real.
Interesting. Well, they setting that one up. And let's be real.
How long do you think that might have been in the works? And honestly, at some point, the curse has to end at some point.
It has to end.
We can't just leave them in purgatory.
I agree. To me, that's fine. Now, the sad thing is, will you lose your Shattered Throne? There's the take. There's the take. Now I want to see where you at.
No,
now it gets real.
I have soloed that thing flawlessly. So
it's out of your system.
So if I'm, it says the triumph literally is called Seriously Never Again. I'm okay with that.
So you okay? I'm just curious.
I mean, it is a really cool experience, and it's one of those I wish they could do like almost like an archive playlist for if they do take stuff out to ever bring, because Shattered Throne is really amazing. Like just to go through the fact that you can see it all, the fights, the encounters. I mean, it's a really cool place for 3 people to go through together. So I don't know if we will ever truly wrap it up.
But are you okay with some Guardians never experiencing?
I mean,
he's like, I got mine. I got mine.
How many people probably don't even want to? I mean, people don't want to do raids.
Yo, Ebontis got bougie. He's like, look, I don't know about you common folk. Hey, I got my
done.
Pardon me from coming through. But I feel you. I can't even get mad at you. It's funny,
again, it comes back to, I guess, it's like, yeah, I've experienced it. And honestly, I wish everybody could experience it because I love that place. Right. But if they wrap it up, and if that is the way it's wrapped up, or maybe it's only your game. Maybe if you solo it at 999, you can't get to it anymore. I don't know, but if they wrap it up with regards to lore and story and progression of the world, then I think that's cool. Because I think that shows, like, just an evolution. Because honestly, I feel bad for everybody on the damn Dreaming City. Yeah. Every time you talk to Petra, she's just like, oh.
Yeah, she's like,
I'm like, I feel sorry for her, man.
Yeah, perpetual torment. And you're right. It narratively is dope, like, for that to end.
That'd be a good way to go. Like, you got a 1v1 Dylan Caro at 999. That's crazy.
There you go.
Now, what would be really cool is if you went in and it was like just an arena. Like, you went in at 999, it was just you and her. And it actually was it was actually a different area. They, like, built it separate.
Oh my god! Shout out to Ward. He said I won't do Shadow Throw because I'm afraid of the dark. So, I go front, man. The Shadow Throw stuff. I used to feel away doing them things, man.
Not everybody loves the Ascendant Realm. Not everybody does.
No, it's fine though.
I like it. That's just said not everybody does.
It gives me tension, but the whole, like, artistically, like, you feel like you in some nether realm and the space, and you feel like the coldness of, like, space. Like, it is Forsaken, man. That is literally, bro. That might be the GOAT.
I was like, we will see.
We will see what Shadowkeep.
Forsaken was amazing because we got Tangled Shore, giant surprise of Dreaming City, Last Wish raid lore continuation, Shattered Throne dungeon, like that.
Aldrin.
No, that's what I'm saying. The whole Forsaken Dreaming City, all that. Yeah, the Aldrin, the Cade, and Cade died.
Wake up.
Oh yeah, when Cade died, like that's a whole lot that goes on.
Bro,
yeah,
the GOAT expansion. Not even close right now. Like, I don't know what the other expansion is going to do. But we did say that for Taken King, and then but Taken for right now,
good. Yeah, this is up there.
Taken was amazing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Forsaken is the GOAT, man. I go to the Dreaming City. I'm just like, this is amazing content.
A couple more bits from the Games Radar article.
Yes, sir.
Asks about Gambit and Gambit Prime. Now, I will honestly tell you guys, by the way, I've been playing my fair share of Gambit. I've been timing those matches.
Yeah, let me hear what's the data.
Prime shorter.
Okay.
I'm just straight up saying it. Like, now I will also say, when you guys are like Gambit or Gambit Prime, if you are the first one up in regular Gambit, God, you get invaded a lot. I think, like, yeah, regular Gambit, you get invaded plenty. Gambit Prime, one round, if you get stomped, at least it's short. But even if you go long, I still match a normal Gambit match. So Prime is shorter for sure.
Okay. So now you've been playing more of it. You are leaning Prime as what you want.
I have just tweaks. So one, I don't care how many invasions you've stockpiled. If you deposited your crap early, if your Primeval's done, you do not get to invade until we get to invade, or until we're up to Primeval phase. Because it's like, oh, we have 18 motes in there, and then you got the Primeval, but they haven't invaded because they just stomped us at one point. And then we're trying to get back, and somewhere at about 50, we're getting ready to deposit. Then they invade again, and we're like, you can't catch up at that point. You do truly get stomped. So, like, if you don't invade before your Primeval's up, those all get wiped out. That needs to be, I think that would be a way for you to be like, all right, come on, we got to kill stuff, we got to deposit, and you can invade, and you have that. Because if you lose any progress at all at that point, that tug of war is just, it's done. Goes to the other team.
It's completely.
So, I mean, that is one. Invasions happen too much in both modes. Doesn't matter which one. It's just too much in both. Heavy is still bonkers.
Yeah, still disparity.
I mean, there are moments because I honestly did not use a heavy machine gun for this entire grind. I did not use my hammerhead once. I was using grenade launchers for damage. I was using sniper rifles and random stuff. But I did not use a heavy machine gun once. And it's really hard to compete against them. Like they are on their own. I mean, and everybody knows it, but it's just like if you don't run one, you are running at a
disadvantage. Yeah,
absolutely. Oh yeah, I was playing Bender last night for the last few matches, and
the Bender.
I mean, I went through a couple matches where it was literally 100-0, and then we had another one where it was about 5 or 6 to 100. I mean, I don't know why, and I think it's just the number of invasions and the heavy, but the disparity between some matches is so big.
So yeah, that's my thing. It just
I don't know how it flips so hard.
It's not consistent. Like that's one of my frustrations because it's like there are times when you like, damn, I'm not getting any heavy. I'm useless. I can't defend against an invasion. I can't do a tremendous, DPS against the boss, based on what your energy, if let's say you have to energy or not a strong kinetic. It's just like you feel helpless.
Yeah.
And that's my part with Gambit Prime that can get annoying when you don't have it, and then it's a DPS phase, and then here they come with the invasion during the, it's just certain little aspects of it. I don't hate it. I just feel they got to tweak it. If it comes down to Prime staying, fine, but you got to tweak it. They need some tweaks.
Well, here's your words of Gambit and Gambit Prime, which is news, by the way, because this wasn't actually true until like right now, which are both available to New Light.
Yes.
So both are going to New Light, are not going anywhere anytime soon.
Right.
And basically it states they're not going anywhere until Destiny. Both of these activities will be available through year 3. So they're both staying around through year 3.
Yeah, it's interesting though. They said that we got this update based on what Luke had said previously, because Luke didn't say a time frame, but he almost felt like it was coming sooner.
Yeah,
so it looks like they're both hanging around still longer.
I think they might just work on tweaks on both and see if they can kind of see what happens. I think for people who bought the annual pass, they can't dump Reckoning and Prime and the sets and stuff. They don't want to jack that content away because they haven't set that precedent yet. They just said at some point, just like with Crucible, we were changing the playlist, set up how Gambit and Gambit Prime work. That stuff didn't happen around Shadowkeep. Don't expect it to happen when Shadowkeep launches though. So it'll happen later.
Right.
But it's just one of those things. So.
Yep.
But yeah, we've got infinite power cap. We've got raid-specific mods and gear. We've got seasonal things. We've got Shadowkeep things. We've got temporary activities. We've got a moon that is bigger. It's twice as big. And I was literally going through the map, too, where we've got Archer's Line. I'm blanking now because I can't see the map.
The names. Yeah, I forget
but yeah, you have the main 3 zones. The middle zone is completely overtaken. Hellmouth is overtaken. And then you've got some harbor, like Sorrow's Harbor up north, which is maybe where the actual fortress is. Because I don't know if the big thing in Hellmouth is going to be like the wall and the door, and then you have to work your way back to it, or if that's something separate. We've got 4 lost sectors, which are new to explore.
Okay.
You have the Fallen Ketch, which lands down by Anchor of Light down there. Where you used to do the Warsat public event looks like where that thing is parked.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, because you'd get into Anchor of Light and you'd have the buildings on that side that were kind of up the side. You had the big mountain in the middle, and then you had the dome, and then you had the We've Awoken the Hive, the set of buildings near that entrance back there. And then up in the front, in that kind of little front outcropping, was the public event. And that looks like where the Fallen Ketch is parked. Or crashed, or whatever it is.
Crashed or whatever, yeah. Yep, I see that.
So you've got a ship, 4 lost sectors. You've got the Sanctuary, which is down below on the bottom of the map. I don't know if that goes down to anything or if that's just that little strip of land. And then just like on Dreaming City and Ray Sylvia, up in the north where you kind of go off the map, it looks like there's a place to do that as well.
So are we... Quick question.
No, you're good.
Getting... So Redacted still is Redacted, right? Or is Redacted this Nightmare stuff?
No, Redacted still Redacted.
We're still getting Redacted then, on top of this.
That's probably the seasonal Vex turquoise bubble that I don't know what the hell is.
Yeah, still a lot of content, man. Lots of content.
So even if we don't really, and some people are like, hey, I hope we get to explore the Black Garden. And I'm like, outside of the raid, I don't see us doing much. There might be a quest to get it open. I don't see us hanging out in there a lot. It would be cool, but I don't see us hanging out in there a lot.
Well,
but yeah, that's, I mean, this week has been a huge info dump, and we're going to get a little more as we go, but this has been massive this week.
Yeah, this has been massive. This has been like, whew, they're just knocking it out. Tons of stuff. This is the best time when you stepped away. I said, like, there's nothing better than Destiny, like right before a major expansion, and it's just news after news after news. And I always like the September release because it always feels like a reimagining of the content. A matter of looking at this content and then just like, I can't with you, Bender. I can't with you, bro. So no, good to see you, brother. Man. But yeah, man, it's like, this is a really reimagining of content. And then again, we still haven't gotten to the PvP stuff. We still got stuff we still don't know about. Redact, tons, man, tons. Cannot wait, man. These are good times. It's good to be a Destiny fan right now.
So yeah, I think we can honestly wrap it up here for today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys in chat who have been in here all day, chatting up, making us laugh, having good commentary, giving us ideas to talk about. You guys have been on fire, so thank you guys for catching it. If you did not catch this live, you're catching it later. Twitch.tv/Ebontis. Just check our Twitters, all 3 of them. You'll see when we go live. But outside of that, Cognito, if you want to wrap it up, let them know what you got going. We will let these people get to their Friday.
Yeah, man. Well, before I do that, shout out to Sassy Saucy. She's, hello, I'm new here. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? But thanks for stopping by. Came at the end, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, great show. Make sure you guys, please, we have on Twitter, we have the Last Word Twitter account. So I'm going to actually drop that in chat. It's at Last Word Pod. So please make sure you follow, check it out, man. Support what me and Ebontis are doing. So I'm just doing it in the chat as well. And then as well as lordsofgaming.net, when you get a chance, you can catch, we have a Last Word section there, and you can catch some latest article. And also LordCognito's a little bit more in-depth takes there, you know what I'm saying, on certain little subjects or little pieces of the TWAB that I like to focus on and stuff like that. But as far as me per se, you already know, at LordCognito on Twitter and on Iron Lord Podcast is on YouTube. Every Sunday is the Lord's Day. We will have a cool guest. It will be Dan Otage, you know what I'm saying? The man, the myth. He will be in the building. Twitch's finest. We're going to talk that. We're going to talk a little Destiny because he does all Destiny as well as all stuff he's organizing, as well as GCX. He's one of the PR guys for GA. Put it together. A lot of cool charitable efforts for St. Jude. So please, that's Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Check me out. The rest of the crazy lords. We will be talking gaming, multi-platform gaming, and all that good stuff. And of course, Friday mornings, you already know where you're supposed to be, at the campfire with your beverage, with me and Ebontis, chilling. You know what I'm saying? Generally 9 a.m. Twitch on Ebontis, and of course later up on YouTube. If you miss us live, you can catch us on the Iron Lord Podcast YouTube channel, as well as Ebontis' channel, YouTube channel as well. That's what I got, sir. E, you're muted. E came back.
Nope, you're good. No, I mean, for me, just continuing to break down this footage. I think I'm going to probably dig into the exotics next. If you guys haven't caught a couple of my videos, I went hardcore onto the artifacts. Kind of what we've got for mods, what they can all do, some builds possibilities. And then this one I went into the moon and the activities we're going to get. So full walkthrough of the map, kind of broke that one down by cropping a couple pictures together so you can see most of what we've got for the map, all the activities we're going to get to, some modifiers with those, how the artifact ties in. There are a couple long videos, but we're getting deep dive into pretty much everything for the moon. So I'm going to probably go through exotics next. And so stay tuned to the YouTube channel there. So if you haven't subscribed to that one, please do so. Over 36,000 guys. Thank you for all the crazy support. That is awesome. So yeah, Twitch and Twitter, you guys know where to find me. I'm streaming. Now this is, I don't know if this is going to happen this Saturday, but my brother gave me the idea. At some point, guys, I've got to clean up my vault. So he gave me the idea heads up, this might not be G-rated. But potentially to have a 2 to 3 lemon drops in possible drunk stream, vault clean out, ASMR, chat voting on it, all of the above. So
I need this, y'all.
That has to happen probably. It's probably like a Saturday night if I don't have any plans on Sunday. Because it's got to happen.
Bender, do it. Get that vault clean. Everybody knows about your vault.
My vault is awful. So at some point that might happen. So turn on your Twitch notifications in case you see it. You might catch me drunk vault clean out for the win.
Yes.
Burn it all. Leave it in the past.
Yes.
I've got some support on this one, so yeah, I'm gonna have to get some beverages flowing. Apparently, at some point.
I gotta pop through. You know what I'm saying? Listen.
I'll tweet.
He's a fun drunk.
I will tweet. Yeah, I'm a fun drunk. So I will tweet. I don't know if it's this weekend. I gotta find a good weekend for it. This weekend might work, but we'll see. Depends on how much working out I'm doing. But that will have to happen. No award. No.
Oh, whoa.
No.
We'll start with the go figure. Get your chalices ready for E. We'll put that go figure to bed.
But yes, that will be the plan coming up. So thank you guys very much. It's been an awesome episode. Got more guests in the works, of course. Got some cool ones we're working on, so we'll let you guys know when we have finalized dates there. Definitely ones you guys won't want to miss. So you guys have been awesome. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, so thank you. And for everything, it's me. It's Ebontis. Over there, it's Iron Lord's podcast. If you don't know them, go find them, go watch them, go listen to them, keep them in your ear holes. They will keep you entertained and up to date with all the good things. And for episode 70, August 23rd, it has been the last word.